They didn't believe me, they never called him out. They ain't a look too passing. They didn't want to know me back then. But ever since I done gone back then, everything turned around and now the sky is falling.
Welcome everybody here to the Sports Talk Network channel, specifically Steve's Wrestling Ramble. Here at the big show, the big episode, WWE SummerSlam Predictions 2017 edition. First, want to introduce my team members, Kyron Chase and Mark Ramble. Kyron, how you doing this evening?
I am doing great, Steve, and what's up to everybody on the show? I'm just ready to get started.
And Mark Rambo.
There's absolutely nothing to say but all things wrestling. Let's get straight to it. How are you guys doing? I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but SummerSlam is on the way, and also NXT is on the way. So, I mean, hell, it's going to be a good weekend.
Mark, you're cutting in and out. Sorry, man.
Oh, did you guys hear me? Could you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
A little bit better
Okay.
now, but you're cutting in now when you're trying to introduce yourself. Anyways, moving right along, let's welcome our featured guest, Mounties Corner. And check him out here on YouTube. Mountie, how you doing?
Rip 'em. What's going on, boys? Mounties Corner here. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and it's especially a pleasure to be on your show, Steve, Kyring, Ramble. Nice to meet all of you boys, and just want to say thanks again for having me. This is going to be awesome.
Thank you for being here, Chris. And Chris, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? It's nice being here. Thanks for the opportunity.
All right, I'm the host of Bite That Podcast, or Bite That Cast Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube, and follow them on Twitter at Bite That Cast One. How you doing this evening?
Doing very good, man. Ready to see what's going to happen on SummerSlam. Very concerned about Baron Corbin's future, so I'm looking forward to talking to you guys a little bit about that, because I think he's in trouble.
And also, last but not least, BLUExDEMONx, who's been promoting this episode on his live stream to Raw and SmackDown Live. Check him out on YouTube and on Twitter as well, in the same name. How you doing this evening?
What's going on, man? I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I cannot wait to start this, man, and give out the predictions and the debates. It should be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first thing I do want to talk about is the Baron Corbin failed cash-in from SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Just want to get everybody's quick thoughts on that, even before we jump into SummerSlam, because I know a lot of people have their own opinions on that. First, Kyron Chase, what are your thoughts on Baron Corbin cash-in and what that might mean for his character moving forward?
Actually, when it first happened, I just found laughing. I just thought it was hilarious first time I saw it. I think that this could either hurt him in the long run or help him. If this cash-in say ignites a fire in him that gets him so angry he's just willing to kill anybody, then I think it can help him. But if they're just gonna have him lose and then not do anything with him, then it's not doing much good for him to begin with. I didn't think they should have cashed. They should have done it on Tuesday. I don't even think they should have done it at SummerSlam. I think they should have waited a little bit longer till they thought he was ready. But I guess they thought he wasn't ready, and they just said, "Screw it, let's just get the case off of him."
All right, Mark Rambo.
You know, I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. I thought that was the worst decision that they could have ever made. I mean, considering the fact that Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura had the worst match that I've seen in my lifetime. I forgot which pay-per-view it was, but it's not even worth remembering. And then to make Baron Corbin fail his cash-in, I feel like they should have waited to do that. At least if they were going to make it a fail, at least wait a little longer. Because this just was not making sense to me. Because it's just, what's next now? Like, what is Baron Corbin going to do now? Considering the fact that he doesn't have a belt. I mean, if they do give him a push, how is it going to work out? I mean, I don't even know where the hell his character's at. I'm just going to keep it like that. I thought it was a pretty dumb idea for somebody who could get a reasonable push.
Okay, Mounties Corner.
Well, to me, it's pretty simple. The fact that Baron Corbin, cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase about 4 days before SummerSlam. To me, all it tells me is that WWE somehow lost faith in Baron Corbin, maybe they thought that his big push, heavyweight push that is, maybe came a little bit too soon. And like Rambo was saying, what's next for him? It's probably not going to be amazing. Clearly, they think that something's lacking in him, and I can kind of see it. Although I'm a huge Corbin fan, the situation is he's still missing that small element to make him like a monster heel. I can't really quite put my finger on it. I don't know if it's charisma or whether he's trying too hard. But clearly WWE just kind of gave up on him and said, okay, we're going to revisit this later. But it still sucks. And the way they did it, if you're going to take it away from the guy, maybe you should have did it on a bigger stage rather than the go-home show going into a SummerSlam. That's just my thoughts for now.
All right, Juan, by that.
Yeah, for me, it actually reminded me a little bit of Sean O'Haire. Sean O'Haire was somebody that I don't know if you guys saw during the Ruthless Aggression era. He had like all the talent in the world. He was talented in the ring. He could cut a mean promo, but the moment that he was there in front of that live crowd, he was very soft-spoken. And Baron Corbin, he's been on the roster for a long time, and talking smack, he seemed to be very comfortable on social media. He seems to be a jerk, whether it be on character or off. But then when he's actually in that arena, I don't think he really condones or really aspires anybody to like really hate him. He's so soft-spoken. It's almost like a Bobby Lashley. Like Bobby Lashley back in the day, they tried really hard to build him up, but the moment you gave him that microphone, all that mystique about that superstar, but that big time wrestler that they wanted to build up just was not happening. So I think that maybe this is WWE's way of just saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we're not even going to wait to the big stage because I don't want to have any more attention be given to you. So maybe we just take the briefcase off. We get a quick victory for John Cena at SummerSlam. And then whatever happens afterwards, Baron Corbin, he may not be there at the same time. This can also be used for motivation. Maybe he becomes a bigger version of a jerk. Maybe this actually leads to like a really stiff battle between him and Cena. But I just think it made him look really weak. Jinder Mahal was down, super attitude adjusted, and then he gets a pinfall cover, and then his foot was under the rope. Like, whether that was planned or not, it just looked horrible. Like, Baron Corbin cannot look any worse than he did on SmackDown.
And BLUExDEMOnx.
Well, when that happened, I was shocked. I could not believe it. I thought it was hilarious. And for Corbin to recover, that match on Sunday with Cena he has to destroy him for him to recover from this. He has to go in and just straight dominate. I'm talking about do any heel tactic he can and win that match dirty, whatever. I don't care. But right now is not looking good at all for Baron Corbin.
All right, and well, hopefully I can be heard. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, just making sure.
Yes,
Anyway,
yes.
let's move on. Let's start with the SummerSlam card. Start off with the kickoff show, pre-show matches. And first one being the WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. Akira Tozawa champion, the new champion, facing off against challenger Neville. My prediction right off the bat, I'm going with Tozawa to retain the Cruiserweight Championship. I mean, he just won it. Why have him drop it right away? So I'm going with Tozawa. Let's start with Juan. Juan, who do you have in this match and why?
So in the podcast, I originally mentioned I was going to go with Akira Tozawa because he just won the championship, but then Ryan kind of persuaded me to going like, hey, it's a lot cooler if then Neville takes it right back. He's so obsessed with it. I mean, he looks sick. The man looked like he was physically ill in 205 Live. That's how badly he wants to become champion again. So I think it's going to be Neville.
Ooh. All right, Mark Rambo.
Man. You see, I like Neville. I like Neville a lot. First of all, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I like Neville a lot. I really do. But I'm so iffy with him because for starts, he's really like one of the only really worthy cruiserweight champions in 205 Live. But to me, it just felt like Neville kind of just got boring as a champion. If I'm just being completely honest with you, he kind of got boring because it was like you almost expected him to win. And Monday, I had no idea that Neville was going to lose that belt. It was a complete shocker to me. Like, I was just like, oh okay, what's going to happen next? What do they have planned? So I'm going to go with Akira Tozawa on this one because I just want to see what they're going to do after Neville lost the champion. Now that he's not a champion, what's next? What's next for 205 Live? What's next for the struggling, in my opinion, 205 Live?
All right, Kyron Chase.
I honestly want Neville to win because, like I said a billion times on the show, he should have held that title forever. But considering the fact that I don't think they're just gonna give it to Tozawa and take it off from 6 days later, I'm predicting Tozawa to win, but I want Neville to get the title back.
Okay, Mountie.
To me, it's no question that Tozawa retains here. I said so right after the last pay-per-view. I think in my review, I normally go live as you do, and I do like a quick interaction with the subscribers and give my 2 cents on the pay-per-view, right? And I said I had a feeling that Tozawa was going to win on any rematch that he was going to have. Now, given that it happened, earlier this week, that one shocked me. I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to do something on a bigger stage for them to do it on Raw, right? That kind of threw me off, but it was entertaining to say the least. There's no question in my mind that Tozawa retains here. As much as I like Neville and he did a great job, having him just hold the title for that duration of time, in my opinion, can maybe even hurt it because you're just there's nothing happening. So they had to make something happen in order to make you want to tune into any sort of 205 Live television. So I'm going with Tozawa for the victory. I really don't see how I can get that one wrong.
Chris.
Well, I'm torn between Tozawa and Neville, but I'm going to say Neville because they say that Tozawa winning before SummerSlam like that, it was basically last minute. So that means Neville might be getting the title right back. Because as Neville, if you can see Neville was a strong champion. He beat almost everyone. Tozawa, his not really any heels to go against Tozawa that people really credit.
Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Did I miss anybody for the prediction for the Cruiserweight Championship?
Hello. What about me? Gosh. It's like that, man.
I forgot. I thought he already went.
You guys are still here? You guys are still here? All right.
Oh, no. Already.
Good job, Chief.
Now, I think Tozawa is going to retain, but I think it's going to be a very long feud, actually, because you was right. There's nobody in 205 to really face Tozawa that's a heel right now, like as strong as Neville. So I think there's gonna be a long feud. I think Tozawa is gonna be keeping the title, but I think Neville's gonna do something crazy to him at SummerSlam to keep the feud going. So that is my prediction on that one.
Okay, and Mark Ramble, just so you know, I gave my prediction off the top of the thing talking about the match. I'm going with Akira Tozawa to retain. Next match, SmackDown Tag Team Championships, The New Day. We're facing the Usos. I guess also being promoted for kickoff. So let's start with one of our guests, Juan from Bite That Cast. Who do you have winning this match and why?
I'm still torn about this a little bit. Part of me thinks that it's going to be the New Day retaining. Like even yesterday, I was kind of going back and forth, and I think that the reason is that the New Day can then maybe have like a fun rivalry with even Breezango. Like we're still like wondering what's going to happen with that, and I think a babyface versus babyface rivalry, especially with Southpaw Regional Wrestling, which is coming back tomorrow. I think like that type of entertaining thing would be an awesome combination to have. At the same time, where would that leave the Usos? I think like they need the championship or aspire to become champions if you want them to still be day one-ish, but the day one may be indeed H after that. So I'm going to go with the New Day.
Mark Rambo?
Once again, this is another hard one. You see, me personally, I love the New Day. but also like the Usos. I like the Usos' new gimmick, their new little heel character, whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't really care. But you know, I just think this whole feud is. I don't know if anybody said it, but I think it's going to be longer than just okay. Usos win, then New Day wins. I think the Usos are going to retain this one, but it's not the end of this feud. I definitely think Breezango is going to come in the picture in the near run, but I think for right now, SummerSlam, I think Usos are going to retain this.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll probably see Breezango come into the picture. Then there'll probably be like a tag team #1 contendership match. I don't know. You could be creative with the shit. I don't know. Okay, I don't know, but you know it's challenging. I'm gonna have to go with the Usos on this one. I'm just gonna go with the Usos, just to be risky.
I like that. Risky.
All right, BLUExDEMOnx.
I think this feud is done. It's been long enough for me. I think the feud. I honestly think the feud is over after this. I think New Day is retaining. New Day is entertaining. I love the Usos heel characters, man. They've been amazing, but they've held the belts. The feud with the New Day has been going on way too long for me. I think it's time for some new contenders, and I think the New Day is keeping that title for them titles for a while, for a long while.
Kyron Chase.
Oh, well, first off, this is something I probably should have said at the beginning of the show. Get well soon to Ric Flair. I just want to say that. And my prediction for the tag team title match, I'm kind of disappointed this match is on the pre-show because the match they had Battleground was the best match of the night. But with that said, I'm going to pick New Day to win, and this is going to be the end of the feud. And hopefully New Day can move on and have a match with Breezango because they're the only other tag team left. So I'm going with New Day.
All right, and last but not least, Chris.
Well, I'm going with New Day. Usos are great and everything, but I'm going to go with New Day because WWE is going to find a way to have another heel tag team come in there. And they're also going to try to push Breezango because Breezango's selling tickets right now because they're entertaining and funny.
Is it too late to change my prediction?
Yes, it is, Mark. Yes, it is.
Is it too late for me to give my prediction, Steve? Or are we just going to take turns missing out on people?
Hey.
All right. So here's what I think is going to happen, okay? I agree with a lot of you
guys. The next
guys.
match will go Big Show versus Big Cass with Enzo Amore suspended above the ring in a shark cage. We'll start with Mark, and after anybody that wants to can go next.
I want to be man.
Oh, I lost my headphones. Oh, Lord.
What happened? What's going on here? What's going on? Is this like initiation or something?
So we're going with the Shark Tank now? I feel
Monty
like I should be spending that right now. So I guess I'll just quickly say, and then we can take it over to our friend so he can give his prediction. I think that I don't really care about this match. I think that many people probably feel the same way, and I'm going to go with Big Cass because if he doesn't win, then what really happens here? There's been this rumor about Enzo and Cass possibly going back together, which that would make all the sense in the world, right? Like after the past month and a half, I really hope that doesn't happen. I think it's going to be Big Cass. I really don't care, though.
All right, whoever wants to go next can go next. No order. Kyron?
I guess I'll go then. I really couldn't care less about this match than I already do. Big Cass is going to win, and that's all I have to say about it. Only thing I say is, please do not give Enzo a microphone while he's in that shark cage. Because the last thing I need to do is hear Enzo talking on a mic in a shark cage for about 10 minutes. That's the last thing I need. So don't give him a mic while he's in the shark cage. That's all I ask.
Yes, Lord. Yeah, I think this match is. I think my bad. Oh no, you know what? Go ahead, Monty. Go ahead, bro. You got screwed on last time.
You got it, man.
Can I just say that New Day was gonna retain? Is that okay with everybody?
That's good, bro.
I was like, shit, my fucking microphone is cut. Is it from Canada or something? I didn't pay my bill. It's the dollar value, isn't it? I knew this would come in back, man. Anyhow, anyways, real quick, New Day is gonna retain, right? I agree with a lot of you guys where you said that I think the feud's gonna end. You know, and there's no question in my mind that although the Usos and their heel persona, their whole character has been outstanding work. I don't know what I'm waiting. I got to get one of those Uso hats, man. Those day one. I got to get the hoodie. I got to get
day one-ish.
I am, man. I am late. I am so late to that party. I'm sleeping on them, but I haven't been sleeping on them. I'm sleeping on their merch, you know, and the way I see it, man, is New Day. They got to go over. I really hope for BLUExDEMOnx. Like you guys were saying, you know, they're really funny. They're selling a lot of merchandise. They're very popular right now. It's probably the most entertaining part of SmackDown. Dare I say it? And yeah, and it's so creative. And each week I'm like, oh man, what are they gonna do next? You know, so I'd love to see those guys eventually dethrone New Day. I really hope that they don't have a really long reign like they did on Raw. You had it once. Give that reign maybe to somebody else. That's just my 2 cents. But going on to the other match, you guys, the Shark Tank one, I totally agree, Kyring, man. No microphone for Enzo. Like, have him come out with it and all that stuff. But apparently, I don't know if you guys knew this. I heard this through some grapevine. The fact that this is actually a punishment for Enzo because he's afraid of heights. So that's why they're putting him.
Wow.
That's very petty.
Yeah.
That's very petty.
Well,
That's when you get heat backstage.
When you've heard of all things Enzo's done, I think it's kind of fair. I mean, I'm terrified of heights too, but when you hear the stuff he's done again, you know, disrupting the whole bus and things like that, I mean, punishment. I mean, it's not the most cruel punishment they ever made someone do, and I feel like this one is actually deserved. Unlike, you know, Vince getting mad over something small and punching someone live on live television. So I think this is a fair punishment.
I mean, you know. Yeah,
exactly.
You can. It's possible, but you can't always believe what that adult dancer, whatever you want to call her, the adult dancer said about Enzo. Yeah, that could be it, but also you got to play in the role that he could be. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That he could be. That he could be falsely accused. You never know. She could be lying. She could be doing anything.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you good.
That's not what I was alluding to. I was alluding to, you know, disrupting backstage and being on that on a bus with Roman Reigns and disrupting everyone else. That's what I was alluding to. I didn't even think about what you were bringing up, Mark. I was talking about the bus situation, which Roman Reigns himself admits that happened. A lot of other people did. So I think that's fair punishment. But in terms of the adult dancer thing, and I need actual more evidence than what she said.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Big Cass on that one. I mean, there's no need for him to actually, for anybody to slow that guy's momentum. I mean, let's face it, the reason why they split him up was to give him some sort of singles push, and you know, it's the battle of the bigs, right? It's Big Show versus Big Cass, and Big Show is only there really to make younger talent, you know, look better, and you know, he did that with Jinder Mahal in a couple of house shows before Jinder got his massive push. Apparently they went to the limit, and I think he even body slammed Big Show, which was kind of a big deal, right? So to me, it's got to go to Big Cass as much as, you know, Show is a veteran guy. He's running out his time. He's doing a good job of it. I don't see how the Shark Tank is going to be any factor here, unless it, you know, somehow gets descended somehow, some way. I don't know, but you got to give the victory straight up to Big Cass. Not to mention, I believe it's his hometown, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. So what I'm thinking is, it's a big night for Big Cass, and eventually I'll get to my other prediction down the road as far as hometown. I think you guys know where I'm going with that. But yeah, I'm going with Big Cass. To me, it'd be really stupid booking to make Big Cass lose this one unless there was some sort of crazy interference and he lost in a really quote unquote dirty way, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I'm going with Big Cass myself over the Big Show. Enzo trying to get involved. Big Cass laying his ass out and defeating the Big Show. 1, 2, 3. Moving on, the Demon Finn Balor 1-on-1 with Bray Wyatt. Juan, go first. We have in that 1-on-1 and one.
I mean, I don't really think that this is even a prediction match as much as it is just how quickly it will be until Finn Balor wins. I mean, Bray Wyatt, we know the whole deal. Whenever he's in a rivalry, eventually he just loses the match and then proceeds to act like it never happened. So it's going to be Finn Balor because he got paint poured on him because that totally wasn't blood. And I guess that sort of triggered the demon inside of him. So a year later, let's just hope that this time Finn Balor walks out of SummerSlam not injured. So in any capacity, Finn Balor, please watch the shoulder, watch everything, survive this match.
Kyron Chase.
First off, obviously I'm going to pick Balor, but I just want to say that I feel what they did Monday, one, giving the match away on free television before the show, that was kind of stupid. If they really wanted, do the spot with the fake blood, here's what I would have done. I would have had another segment, have like Bray attack Finn. The lights shut out, and when the lights come back on, Finn's already covered in the fake blood. That way it doesn't look as stupid as Bray just pouring it on Finn and Finn just sitting there and not moving. And also, I feel that it'd be, it could have been a little bit more subtle. When Finn, Finn said, Bray Wyatt has his demons, I have mine. They could just left it there. I mean, obviously we all know what that means, but putting like the demon, actually advertising the demon, I think that's kind of a mistake. Would have been like a little bit more subtle just to say after Finn said that line and just leave it there. They didn't. I don't think they should have advertised the demon. I think you could have been a little bit more subtle. But obviously, I'm going to pick Balor, and once I agree, please don't get injured this time.
Yes.
Mountie.
I agree. I totally agree what you just said on all levels, on all fronts. I mean, I think the last time, correct me if I'm wrong, was that he came out as the demon was SummerSlam, right? If I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how fitting 1 year later on a big stage to come out dressed up like that. And I totally agree with the bucket. I thought at first when the lights went out that's what they were going to do, and there was going to be some sort of eerie, Bray Wyatt-ism that was going to take place. But yeah, you're right. Like for him to just go in the corner and pour it on him, it kind of took away a little bit from it. It would have been more creepy and eerie, like, how is this happening, and what does that remind me of? It reminds me of something from back in the day when, like, paint was, or I said paint, but the blood, the blood was coming down from, yeah, something like that, and, you know what it was? It was Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango. I'm going old school, guys. So you got to forgive me.
I
Right?
didn't.
No problem.
I don't know. You remember that? They pulled the promo in the middle of the ring, and all of a sudden, like, there was like, well, this was actually paint or black blood. I don't even know what the hell it was, but it went all over Warrior's face, and he was just like losing it. Oh, maybe it wasn't in the ring, but anyhow, it was something to that degree. They should have maybe, did some sort of angle like that. So I agree with you. To be honest, I also agree with the fact that he needs to stay healthy. Unfortunately, this guy's had some rough luck, man. Like almost that Daniel Bryan sort of streak of luck where just when things are getting good, boom, it kind of gets taken away from him. Couldn't even fathom what he went through last year. That must have been crushing, And he's got to come out on top on this feud. Bray Wyatt will survive yet another one, But I do think that he sort of won the feud with Seth Rollins. But
He did.
He did, so he's got a little bit more credibility, but it's probably going to be taken away this Sunday, if you can say that. I'm going with Finn Balor all the way. I think his entrance has got to be on point. Both of their entrances has to be on point. If they're even smart, maybe you can even start the pay-per-view with this match. I think it would be a really good curtain jerker, to start the actual main card and really get fans into it and pumped up, because you're going to have those epic entrances later on in the pay-per-view with Shinsuke and Jinder and all those other guys. You might as well just kick it off with a bang, one-on-one. They're both excellent wrestlers. Just give them at least, 10 to 15 minutes and let them do their thing. Finn Balor for the victory.
Blue.
First, Steve, you got some assholes in your chat right now, bro. You might want to check that.
I see it too. I see him too. I see him too.
You might want to check that. Second, I think there's gonna be a mind games type of match. I think it's gonna be from the entrances to the match itself. It's just gonna be illusions, mind games galore. More so than a match. And of course, I'm gonna have Balor winning because that's my boy. So of course, Balor all day. But I think it's gonna be a crazy illusions, just nuts. Everybody's mind's gonna be exploding, and I think it's gonna be a good match. But I think Balor's gonna win.
I like the idea of the mind games.
Randy Orton 1-on-1 with Rusev. Rusev 1-on-1. Randy Orton 1. Who you have in this one and why?
Me, it's very unfortunate because I would love it for it to be Rusev. At the same time, I think that after everything that Randy Orton has been involved with, just listen to Jinder Mahal, maybe this is his request, as Ryan mentioned on the podcast, like, hey, if you have me lose to Jinder, like, the least you can do is have me go over Rusev. But Rusev is so talented. I think he deserves so much more, especially like now in SmackDown, where it seems like everybody is anti-American. Like, I think we should be able to get over that. And like, Rusev is so entertaining. I mean, once again, Southpaw Regional Wrestling starting tomorrow. I don't know if he's back in the season, but even that showed like a little bit of the talent that he has. Inevitably though, RKO 1, 2, 3.
All right, Blue.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you, man. Ruru is my boy. Ruru is my boy. I think Rusev needs this win, man, because he talked so much before he had to leave beforehand, and then he came back and he had a great match with Chad Gable. I think he needs this win. I think Randy's gonna be like, you know what, Ruru, I got you, man. I got you for this one, bro. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna put you over. So I think Rusev is gonna win, man. I'm gonna go with Rusev because that's my boy, man. He deserves it. He deserves more than what he got right now. So I'm going with Rusev.
All right, Kyron Chase.
I'm picking. I'm sorry, I got distracted by the comments. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I'm picking Randy Orton to win because he's lost 4 consecutive pay-per-views, and just like John saying that he's on a SummerSlam losing streak. His last time winning SummerSlam was in 2013. Even that was a Money in the Bank cash-in. So I'm picking Randy Orton to win. I want Rusev to win because he needs it more, but they're gonna give it to Orton.
All right, Mark Rambo.
One, I'm gonna say I could have swore we had like 7 people in it, and one keeps flicking on and off. I'm just gonna say that. But 2, I'm gonna go with Rusev because I think Rusev needs more of a push than Randy Orton does, considering the fact that I think him and Sami Zayn should have been champion at least once already. Him and Sami Zayn, I think those two need the push. I mean,
Yes.
well, they need some like Daniel Bryan WrestleMania 30. When he came back and he was the little glory boy. They need that type of push. They need it bad because Sami Zayn has been in WWE for a long time now, and he has not. And in the main roster, he has not really won a belt that suits him. I think he should be champion sooner than later because it's just not working. I'm going to go with Rusev on this one because Rusev deserves a push just as bad as anybody else in that locker room does.
All right, Mountie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree right there, Rambo. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what went down. I heard rumors that, Rusev got, I don't know if you remember if he got suspended. He definitely got punished for cutting his hair, changing a little bit of his character. Yeah,
I heard about that.
Wow.
Yeah, right. So the way I see it is what happened with Cena was, again, a punishment. Like, how the fuck do you come back and lose? Like, to me, but it was a tough one, right? Because they both were coming back. I really felt like they booked themselves in a corner there. Now, going on this one, personally, I think this is going to go two ways. I think Orton is going to be fine with a loss, so I'm going to go with Rusev on this one. I think, like Blue was saying, I think he needs it a lot more. He definitely does. He deserves that push that he hasn't really fully had since he had the U.S. title back in WrestleMania 30 or whatever it was. So, or it's going to be one of those no contest sort of things, because let's face it, guys, there's always one of them, at least especially in a big four. There's always that one match where the bell rings because of a stupid count out or a disqualification and the fans go bonkers. They're like, no, what are you doing? And this is probably going to be that one because, like you said, Orton's lost a couple of pay-per-views in a row. Rusev just lost on his return. I don't see... I'm almost more... This is a weird prediction, but I almost see no winner in this one. So I'm going to just go with that. There's no winner because, again, I think WWE might have booked themselves in a corner, and neither one of these at this point, none of one of these guys sort of can lose, if that makes sense. But if there was one to lose, you gotta give Orton that loss.
Give him the L. Give him the L.
Yeah, like Blue said, I got you on this one. I'm gonna put you over, and that's what he should do because he's a veteran guy now. He needs to understand that. You know what I mean? As much as I'm an Orton mark, but yeah, Orton's my boy, but I'm gonna have to go against him on this one.
Can I just say something before we move on?
Yeah,
sure. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. We brought this up, but Steve, there's some guys in the comments I think you really you should deal with because they're saying a lot of things that are messed up, and I mean, I'm here you gotta report them, but. I think, can you try blocking them, Steve? Because it's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, it's just pretty bad.
All right, I'll try to get that done.
Who are
guys,
these people, man?
We can move on to the next match, you guys. In any order you want to. SmackDown Women's Championship, Naomi versus Natalya. While you guys are predicting and giving your thoughts, I'll deal with the comments.
I'll go first. I'll go first. I think Naomi's going to win this match. Because I'm biased and I love Naomi more than anything in this world. But I also think Carmella is cashing in. I think Carmella will be cashing in. I think she's going to become champion. I think that's what's going to happen. Naomi's been a great champion, don't get me wrong. But I think her time is up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that Glow Championship is selling right now. But I think it's done. I feel sad saying this because that's my boo. That's my bae. And damn it, I think Becky should be in this match. But anyway. I think Naomi's time is done. I think Carmella is. I think Naomi's gonna win, but I think Carmella's gonna be cashing in, and then they're gonna feud for a little bit, and that's how I see it.
I guess I'll go next. I'm disappointed that both Charlotte and Becky are on the card, but then again, Charlotte's going through personal stuff at the moment, so obviously, wrestling's not her no one focus. But I'm disappointed Becky's not on the card because Becky's my favorite. And I'm picking Naomi to win because Natalya has just zero momentum. And I think Carmella will cash in. I haven't really enjoyed Naomi's title reign much. And it's not because of her. It's the fact that they haven't really given her anyone, really good to face. She fought Charlotte on SmackDown for the title one time. And it was interrupted. They never had another, she never had a truly good pay-per-view one-on-one match because they gave her Lana. But that's about it. I felt like they should have given, let Naomi wrestle Becky and Charlotte for the title, but they never did that. So I think her reign has been good, but due to no fault of her own. But I am going to pick Naomi to retain and Carmella to cash in because that's what this main storyline has really been built about. Now, Natalya and Naomi have barely had any interaction. This is all based around Carmella, and that could make it seem like, well, they're being this obvious she's not going to cash in, and that is true. That probably could be the case. but I don't see it that way. I think Carmella might cash in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that's me now.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm gonna go with Naomi, but you see, I think James Ellsworth is gonna interfere in this match in some possible way that he always does, because you know, Kyron knows James Ellsworth is the GOAT, right, Kyron?
You know how much I don't like him, Mark. Don't do that. You know I don't like that guy. Don't even try that. I believe he is starting to get a little bit more entertaining a little bit. I still don't like him.
Yeah, I think he's definitely going to interfere in the match somehow, some way, which will give Carmella the opportunity to cash in. A side of me saying she'll successfully cash in, and another side of me saying that she won't. But I'm going to stick with the side that's saying she'll cash in and she'll actually be the new women's champion. So I'm going to go with Naomi winning against Natalya. But Carmella is definitely going to come up with Ellsworth. I think that's a fact.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, yeah, I totally agree with you. And James Ellsworth, or as I like to call him, Earthworm Jim. And if you guys are too young to know who that is, just do a Google search whenever you get a second, because
I know what that is.
The resemblance is spot on. I bet you Rambo doesn't. I bet he's too young, huh? Mm-hmm.
I'm just a year older than him. I know who he is.
You got jokes now.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going with Naomi for the win. It would be cool to see It would also be cool to see Natalya win and be like, everybody's like, wow, she finally has it.
That would be crazy.
And then boom, it gets stripped away. It gets stripped away. It would be nuts, So this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one for me. I think we're all on the same page where no matter what, Naomi probably isn't walking out as champion. But I've enjoyed her run. I think she's really got a lot better since having the title. And it's sometimes it's so rare you see that, The title doesn't make the person makes the title, right? And in this case, the title made her a lot more relevant. It taught her so much. Mm-hmm. She's a little bit better on the mic, a lot better in the ring, and she's got that confidence now. Now, she will be fine if she doesn't have the title going forward. I do think Carmella's walking out. She's cashing in. Ellsworth's going to do something. It's going to be a sneaky, stupid win. But Carmella is definitely walking out as champion. Like I said before, Big Cass is winning. Carmella is winning. They're a couple, or at least I think they are still. So it's going to be a hot night in New York, if you know what I'm saying. It's in the hotel room, and hopefully Big Cass isn't soft.
I mean,
that was wrong.
I don't know if you can teach that or not, but that's not really the topic now. But
it's like playing pool with a rope. Never mind.
Not even going to touch over the 5-foot pole. But
oh my god,
I have to go the unfortunate route of Natalya's going to win and everybody's going to celebrate, and then Carmella's going to come out and then take the championship. Like, I think that Natalya's going to get that brief moment, and then Carmella's going to play the Randy Orton at SummerSlam card where she cashes in and completely destroys that, and then basically it's like Ellsworth becomes the women's champion, and then we all celebrate him.
Oh no!
Just like Ellsworth was the first ever women's Money in the Bank winner.
Terrible.
That was dumb.
Terrible.
That was amazing.
Awful.
I'll tell you what. It was a good way. Yeah, it was. But it was also a good way to have you tune into SmackDown that week, because I guarantee you a lot of people did.
I did bring that up in my review. I brought that up in my review of Money in the Bank. I did bring that up. Since Steve isn't there, I guess we should move on to the next match.
I'm here. I'm back.
Oh, okay.
I did go through, got rid of the ones in there. I didn't see one. I did see one was in the chat there. Making sure someone to be monitoring that chat, and I apologize. I did not do that earlier. But I did block them, ban them from the chat and from the video. So if there are any more, let me know, because I'm concentrated here hosting. So Kyron or anybody else, make me aware of it, and I'll go right back to it. But anyways, moving on, the Raw Women's Championship, the other side, the other brand, Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks, a one-on-one. Again, we'll start with Juan. Who do you have winning this one?
I'm still not really like sold on either one of them. I think it's going to be a good match. They showed that potential. Obviously, it's really unfortunate that Bailey suffered the shoulder injury. I will say honestly, it's a blessing more so than a curse because I think Bailey was going to get booted out of that building. I mean, hell, you saw the crowd reaction when she announced her injury, and let's be honest, like people haven't really cared about her character, and admittedly so. Like WWE has given us very little reason to care about her character. Like ever since Bailey moved up to the main roster, she's been Bailey, but there's no evolution of Bailey. In NXT, we got to see like Bailey go from the fan to like a wrestling superstar, right? So now we have Sasha versus Alexa Bliss. I think it's going to be a really solid match. I will be very disappointed if Sasha easily beats Alexa Bliss. Like Alexa Bliss was champion on SmackDown, but then wasn't able to like really hold a title like a couple of the times. So I'm hoping Alexa Bliss wins. But I'm just not sure like how this shapes up because if Sasha wins, does that mean we go back and forth with Alexa, or are we going to get Sasha versus Nia, which we've already seen like the past couple of weeks? So like, are we going to like triple dip into that? I'm really hoping we don't. So for now, I'm going to stick with Alexa Bliss.
Okay, Blue. I'm gonna also go with Alexa Bliss. I think she's going to retain, even it hurts my soul because Sasha's my boo, my bae on Raw, but I think Alexa.
You better get her.
Yeah, you got a lot of bills.
You better get her.
Whoa. My bad. I'm sorry. That's my boo, my bae. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. But I think Alexa's going to win that match. But I don't see her going against Nia though for the future. I don't know. I feel bad for Nia because she just doesn't she doesn't fit right now with anybody. You know what I'm saying? She's so dominant, but yet she really doesn't fit with anybody. And like you were saying, we already had the Nia and Sasha so many times. So it's like, I mean, who's next? I mean, we guys think Asuka's coming after SummerSlam? Is that?
Ooh, I would love that.
Asuka?
I think he's going to
Alexa.
I think she's going to SmackDown.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Asuka's coming up and it's gonna be her and Alexa. So that's my 2 cents on that one.
Mountie.
This is a tricky one, and I'll tell you why. Because, first of all, Alexa Bliss, borderline best women's wrestler / character on both brands. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. All right? That's just my opinion. I really enjoy what she's doing. So I'd like to see her retain in this one. In addition to the Bailey thing, it's tricky. I don't know how long she's out for. I think that they could use that injury as I don't want to say a cheap pop for her, but they can also have Sasha Banks eventually turn on her. Like, get out of my spotlight, you're come and go when you please, you know. I think that they can revisit that feud with Bailey and Sasha Banks, but as Sasha as a heel. Now, on the flip side, because I'm saying Alexa Bliss wins at SummerSlam, I think that eventually the person that will dethrone her, get this is a long shot, is a face Nia Jax. I can see it happening.
Whoa.
Wow. Not right away.
Oh, interesting.
Not right away. But I think that it makes Raw fresh. Like, they have to mix some stuff up, right? And one thing, you know, somebody, I think it was it Blue Demon that mentioned Becky Lynch before? Or was it Juan? I'm sorry. One of you guys did, right?
I think it was
anyway.
Blue Demon.
Right.
I think he was
and that's another one. Becky Lynch, amazing talent. But you got to do something with her. You either have to turn her heel on SmackDown, or you just move her to Raw and she does her thing, and then it's like a fresh environment, and that could work too, you know? But as far as Bailey is concerned, with her not being in, it's probably a blessing in disguise. I don't even know why. I mean, I was never on her, okay? Like, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people were. I just thought, and, you know, call me old-fashioned or whatever, but I just couldn't see myself going for this girl that looks like, you know, 10-year-old next door neighbor that comes over and gives hugs and has fucking balloons and shit, you know? Like,
wow.
I just can't do it, you know? So for me personally, I never really got fully behind her, and the fans are starting to understand that now. You know, they're like, oh, well, this is too much, or it's the Roman Reigns factor. Well, if somebody started booing her, so hey, that's cool. Let's boo her too. And it's just going to get worse and worse, you know? So they got to use Sasha Banks' turn on her as a heel just to get some fans behind Bayley. So I don't know. I don't think Sasha's going to get it done. I think Alexa Bliss walks out as champion, which eventually sets up some sort of feud where Nia Jax turns full face. I think it would be really good for like the anti-bully campaign and the whole deal. She could be that face, like, hey, I'm a good girl, and nobody picks on me, and it's okay to be who you are. I'm getting really in depth. I'm sorry. Yeah, Alexa Bliss for the win.
Oh, good, Mark Ramble.
Okay, I think you guys all know the answer to this. I'm definitely going for Sasha Banks because number one, Sasha Banks is my wife. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it like that. And two,
players in this channel.
And two, I just feel like I said with the tag team championship match, I don't think this is the end of this feud. I think Nia Jax will definitely come in, considering the fact that she's Alexa Bliss's, how can I say, bodyguard. I'm just gonna keep it like that. And Nia Jax is slowly going to find her way into the title picture, but not yet exactly. I think what needs to happen with Bayley is she just needs to be repackaged because it's getting to the point that her character is becoming so. It was so good at one point. Now it's just annoying. It's the floaties, the little doo-doo, yeah, all that BS. It's dying. It's dying. You can tell because when she was being interviewed in Raw, she was getting booed. And I mean, you never see that. That is something that rarely happens. They have all these little fangirls who are fans of Bayley and all that other stuff. And her to get booed, that's like, okay, you guys are doing something wrong or something needs to be changed. So I'm going to go with Sasha Banks on this one because, like I said, it's not the end of the feud. New elements are going to be played out. Nia Jax is definitely going to get her title shot. She's going to get her title run. But she needs somebody legit to go against. That's what I'm saying. We could have somebody from NXT come up. It could be the end of Asuka's reign. But if we get to that, we'll talk about that later. I'm going with Sasha Banks on this match.
All right, last but not least, Kyron Chase.
I'm going to pick Sasha to win, and I've said it a bunch of times that they messed this up completely. Starting at Great Ball of Fire, you had a really good story there of Sasha can't win on the big stage because she never won a title on pay-per-view. And at SummerSlam, she takes it. That could have been a good storyline. Taking the fact that Alexa and Sasha really don't like each other in real life, you could get some really good promos between the two. But they, gave them a contendership to Bayley, and then she got injured, and they had to hurry up and scramble to set this match up. And I think that's a mistake because you could have got really good build out of it. But let me just talk about Bayley and give you my 2 cents on it because I am a huge Bayley fan, especially I was in NXT, and like I said, I was in my Extreme Rules review. I was in Extreme Rules live, and like I said in my review, which was actually one of my best rants I've ever done, WWE completely screwed Bayley up, and it's just sad how over she was in NXT, how she was a female John Cena in NXT. She literally was at one point, at her height of her popularity, was the highest selling person in NXT over Bella and Zayn. And it wasn't just the kids and girls, it was also the grown men who actually loved the character as well. And it's just sad how when she comes to the main roster, she just couldn't catch a break. And it was a lot of different reasons from them rushing her to get the title, her having to cheat to win the title, and then the This Is Your Life segment that really was terrible. And then they blamed her. Then WWE blamed the segment, bombing because of her. And then the Extreme Rules, not letting her hit Alexa with the stick, with the kendo stick, which was stupid. That was pretty. I don't like to use the term buried. I really try hard not to, which is why I don't really use it. But that was burial right there. And then people turning on her. Like, if you're a real fan, like I am of her, you stick by her, and I still stick by her this very day. I agree. I hate the booking and how Toronto booed her out of the building, especially when she was injured. And this is a real life injury, and whether you like a person's character or not, this is the person talking. Yeah, I don't like that. I really didn't like how Toronto booed her out of the building. Not because, any other time I really wouldn't care if a wrestler gets booed or not. But when they're injured in the middle of the ring, I think you got to cut them some slack. But then again, it is Toronto, so I wouldn't expect
what? I'm Canadian.
No disrespect to anyone is Canadian. No disrespect to anyone is Canadian. No disrespect to Canada. But I just know how Toronto crowds are. But yeah, like I said, I think my best rant on topic was my Extreme Rules review. But I'm picking Sasha to beat Alexa for the title.
Well, you nailed it on the head there. If I could just added something to what you just said, the fact that she is the new, or you said like the female John Cena, and we all know how it is with John Cena, right? It's very difficult to be an over-the-top baby face wrestler these days. 2017, man.
Yep.
Nobody really wants to see that anymore. And
Nope.
that Bayley gimmick, even Cena gimmick, that's like almost Hogan-esque. Like that would have worked in the early 90s. You name it. It would have been amazing. And I just knew it was only a matter of time before people were going to be like, this is a little cringe, But I respect you for sticking with her, because you know what? You have to, man. You have to. And I'm not taking it away from her ability. I think she's got a lot of potential, and she's going to have an excellent career. So as long as I could be clear with that, you're good by sticking by her, man, because she's got a good career ahead of her, if I could say that.
And the conversation that we're having here, I think the biggest thing to fix with Bayley specifically is having her be the one that's turning heel, not Sasha Banks, and having her be the heel heading into Sasha Banks Bayley match, because of everybody's and others in the WWE universe thoughts and opinions on Bayley's character as of right now and how she's been booked. And whether I agree or disagree, that's different. But just in general, I think it would be best, and it seems to me that could be the path forward for Bayley, to have her be the one turning heel when everybody else is thinking and saying that in stone that it should be and will be Sasha Banks, which is fine. Everybody's in tune and right to their opinion. But for me, my opinion being that Bayley should be the one to go heel and then facing Sasha Banks whenever the plan to be, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I don't give whatever's at all, whenever that to be. But when that is to be, Bayley being the heel and Sasha being the face. And you could even have Bayley coming back, being a heel and winning the championship, having Bayley the champion heading into said pay-per-view against Sasha Banks as the champion and as a heel company. I think that's what's going to help for others in the WWE universe to Bayley. But that's a long-term booking as of right now. She's off the show. She's going to be part of this NXT Homecoming stuff around NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. So at least it's part of something. But beyond that, here specifically, my prediction is Alexa Bliss to beat Sasha Banks on Monday night. My Raw review, I did say, and I stick to saying that Sasha Banks to me seems like she's the John Cena of the women's division, of just shoehorning this match when Bayley got injured and them having her in there, where I thought Nia Jax should have been the one to be in this match one-on-one. Which I thought all along the plan was for Nia Jax to face Alexa Bliss one-on-one at WWE SummerSlam. So I know that's the way it should have went, but they went with Sasha Banks because why not, I guess. So anyways, I'm going with Alexa Bliss to retain the Raw Women's Championship. For the women's title match, I have Natalya winning and my girl Carmella cashing in and becoming the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. For the SmackDown title match, I have the New Day retaining over the Usos. I think I also said earlier I have Rusev over Randy Orton, Cass over Big Show, and Finn Balor over Bray Wyatt. Next match up, the Raw Tag Team Championship match, Cesaro and Sheamus versus, quote-unquote, The Shield. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins back together. Awesome moment on Monday Night Raw. But, Juan, who do you have winning this? Do you have the new Shield or just Dean Ambrose and Seth winning the Raw Tag Team titles?
I think I'm going to have Dean Allins. It's a really bad name, but I'm going along with it. I'm going to have Dean Allins win. I mean, look, it's the easy pick, obviously. Whenever you have any combination of the Shield members together, I think that people are just going to love that. Plus, there's enough fanfic for the Shield out there that people are just going to love that this is finally happening. As somebody that has stumbled upon some of that fanfic, do not read it, please. Please don't. Thank you. I feel like I need to do a public service announcement for that, but I think that it's just kind of cool how when you think about the way that Cesaro and Sheamus came together, they came as this pairing that didn't like each other initially, and then they really got combined and it clicked. And then you look at Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and similarly enough, lately they didn't like each other, but they were able to click together and then come back. Whether this is going to lead to like a long-term thing with a Shield type reunion or not, like that remains to be seen. But I think this is perfect. I don't think Rollins and Dean Ambrose need to be in the main event scene. I think the main event scene has enough people already. I mean, you got a fatal four-way. So what better way to really take advantage of these two highly talented guys than put them in the tag division, put them in the division that people care about the least, because by default, like AJ and Cena with the US Championship, you're going to build that division up just by having them there.
Man, Blue.
Oh man, I'm gonna also go with Dean and Seth, man, because I've heard, you know what I'm saying, everybody's talking about Shield reunion. So I guess I'll jump on the bandwagon and say, all right, I'm down with it. So I definitely got Dean and Seth winning the titles, even though I think Cesaro and Sheamus have better options as opponents. You know what I'm saying? Better tag teams right now. I mean, I feel bad what happened with the Revival as well. I'll just point that out with the old boy getting injured. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna go with Dean and Seth, man. I'm kind of just, I don't know, like, I'm happy for the Shield reunion, but at the same time I'm not. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm 50-50 with it for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like, it's like leaving a bad taste in my mouth, but I'm happy to see it, and I'm glad everybody's happy to see it as well. So hopefully they win the titles and celebrate and have a good time at SummerSlam.
Mountie.
I think there's only one reason for this little mini reunion, and that is to shake up Dean Ambrose's character. I think this is a perfect opportunity for him to turn on Seth Rollins. I'd love to see Dean Ambrose as a heel, give Seth a little taste of his own medicine. Eventually, I don't know if they're going to do it right away. That is something that they should save for a later date. They should have them sort of be on the same page for a while, and eventually you have Dean Ambrose screw over Seth Rollins. I don't see Cesaro and Sheamus losing the titles here. It took them so long to finally be a cohesive tag team unit, and for them to, you know, go into SummerSlam and to lose to two wrestlers being paired up. Not paired up, because they were a tag team, and I get that. But it's just, it's so out of the blue for those two guys to win the titles. Well, you know, and if you were going to go with my idea to have Dean Ambrose turn on Rollins, for them to have the titles, it might bring a lot more merit to that feud down the line, if you know what I mean. So it's a tricky one, man. Like, I can honestly see Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose getting the victory, but I definitely do not see them walking out as tag team champions. I think it's a little bit too early. I think that they're coming together for more than just tag team gold. I think there's another story there that needs to be told eventually. So I'm going to go with Sheamus and Cesaro to retain.
All right, Mark, Ramble.
You know, I like Sheamus and Cesaro. I really do. But you just can't kind of recreate a new version of the Shield, let's just say that, and then have them end up taking an L for a debut match or a return match. It just wouldn't make sense with me. I feel like there's so much hype going to the Shield thing. For them to lose, it's just terrible. I mean, I just think that's a horrible idea. I think they're going to win, but they're not going to hold the tag team titles long. I just say that. I say they're going to win the tag team titles, but give it a take. The next pay-per-view, they'll probably lose it. Because it's just trying to, I guess you could say, try to bring back, you know, everybody in the Shield. Just kind of give an idea that, hey, this is a possibility. So I don't even really think that this match in particular is anything serious. I'm just going to go with Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose just because of the fact that they have all the momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Karen?
Well, before I talk about this match, let me just say that because we probably won't, you probably didn't know. There's a pre-show match we didn't get to. Jason Jordan team with the Hardys take on the Mr. Rush. They just announced that about 2 hours ago. But I'm predicting Ambrose and Rollins to take the tag team titles. And I can see Ambrose turning on Rollins in the future, maybe at Survivor Series or something like that, but let it build. But I would not put all three members of the Shield back together. And I've said to big, like whenever people say, I want the Shield to get back together. Here's why I don't think they should. One, they beat everybody. Two, they held all the gold, which is something All State would do at one point. Three, they broke them up at the perfect time to a point where it didn't get stale. Rollins, it was a great swerve and heel turn for Rollins, and it created three main event stars out of the Shield. And four, the fact that people keep wanting more is perfect because that will forever solidify them as one of the greatest stables of all time. But if you put them back together, that's just breaking it. That's just breaking it. I don't think it'll be as good as the first run. So that's why I've always said, whenever someone says, "Oh, put the Shield back together," I don't think that's a good idea. It's just a step back for all three of them.
All right, and for me, I have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. Everybody knows Dean Ambrose being my favorite current WWE superstar, with him and Seth to capture the Raw Tag Team titles. Next up, from SmackDown Live side, United States Championship match: AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens, and Shane McMahon as a special guest referee. Juan, who do you have winning this?
I think it's going to be AJ Styles. I think it's going to be a storyline developing later on between Kevin Owens and Shane, and I don't think that they really need to include the U.S. Championship for that. I think it's a lot more enjoyable when you just let that be. AJ Styles, he can continue with the U.S. Open Challenge the same way John Cena had it. I think that AJ fits perfectly with the U.S. Championship. A lot of people go like, hey, he should become WWE Champion or Universal Champion. He makes whatever title he's holding more important than any other championship. Like, if you have to think, like, perfectly honest, who do you care about the most right now? Jinder with his championship or AJ with his? I think a lot of people will agree that from a match and just an overall enjoyment perspective, AJ has it. So I'm going to go with AJ. And then I'm expecting a pretty enjoyable match. I think that we should be done afterwards with Owens and AJ. We've had just enough. Anything more is just going to be too much, and you're going to burn it out.
Blue?
Totally agree. 125%. I think Shane is going to do something crazy to KO to cost him the title. AJ's winning it. AJ's my boy. That's my favorite wrestler on SmackDown at the moment. So I'm definitely giving it to AJ. I'm definitely going to have Shane and KO feud for a little bit, and AJ going on to bigger and better things.
Mountie?
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. I definitely see Shane McMahon being some sort of factor as far as costing Kevin Owens any chance of getting that title. And I agree with Juan also that when he said that you don't need the title for that. Obviously, we're going to have fucking Shane McMahon go for the U.S. gold? Like, no, we don't want to see that. You know what I mean? So I agree 100% with you guys. AJ is walking out as U.S. champion. I love the open challenge. I hope he continues to do that. They've been going hot potato back and forth with the title. It needs some solidification. AJ is the man to bring that prestige to that title. Very similar to when Cena had it, and I'm not a massive Cena fan, but when he did have that U.S. title, it was fun to watch, man. And you know what? This is probably going to be maybe match of the night caliber, I would have to say. And like Juan said, we've had just enough. We don't want to fizzle this out too much here. We don't want to overkill it like what they did with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Like, we saw that just a little bit too much, I found. So no matter what kind of awesome matches you put on, it's just going to get, better and better, but then eventually it just gets less and less interesting. So my take on this whole thing is AJ walks out as champion, and he's on to his next feud with whoever that may be. And, Kevin Owens has some sort of feud, backstage politics, what have you, with Shane McMahon for some good TV, because KO he's excellent as a heel. He needs to stay that way. And he's just doing his thing, man. And I'm loving it. So I'm going with AJ for the victory. Match of the night.
Mark Rambo.
Okay, I'm just going to say, Blue Demon, you are the man. You see, AJ Styles was the best wrestler on SmackDown. In my opinion, he's the best wrestler on the face of the planet. Because everybody, Kyron, Steve, you guys know that is my favorite wrestler. of all time, even in New Japan, Ring of Honor, it does not matter. He is my favorite wrestler. I'm going to go with AJ Styles because, like you guys said, AJ Styles is going to continue the U.S. Open Challenge, but then we're going to have a feud with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. I feel like they've been having some beef recently that could start a new feud, and I like Shane's matches. I mean, I feel like every time he's been, been wrestling, it's been exciting, it's been entertaining, it's been a good match. And I was there when he went against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles on this one.
And Kyron.
All I hope is that this be in the rivalry. It said that we've had 2 pay-per-view matches between Kevin Owens and AJ Styles, and neither one of them were match of the year quality. And coming from these two, I expected better. I just don't want this to get too gimmicky with Shane. I mean, I know it's a special referee, something crazy is gonna happen, but I just want this to be a definitive ending to this feud. And please just give us the match of the year we all want, because AJ and Kevin are both very talented and can give us that match of the year. But with both that match of Backlash and Battleground having terrible endings, that hurt the match. And the Battleground one wasn't even all that good. So I am picking AJ to retain, and this will lead to a feud between Kevin and Shane, because I've heard they're going to face each other at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which will be for SmackDown this year. So I'm going with AJ to retain the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, I have AJ Styles retaining as well and staying, as a champion, because I don't see Kevin Owens getting the title back. I would enjoy it being a hot potato back and forth, even the short time it was. AJ Styles winning the title at the live show at the Garden, and that just being to try to get people to come to live shows, and anything can happen and this and that, and having that surprise happening then and there. And in regards to Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens, I guess at SummerSlam we could start something, like tease something, slowly build. But I don't think they're going to be having that match, at least in my opinion, having that match at the next SmackDown Live pay-per-view. And that's something that should be held off for Survivor Series. Survivor Series, the next Big Four pay-per-view, or as I call Big Five, with Money in the Bank, part of it for me, personally. But having then that match at that point, then having it at some other SmackDown Live pay-per-view. Now, mind you, I'm the guy that also has been saying for weeks on this show that WWE should be, and I would hope will be, promoting and doing better with building their other pay-per-view cards, their quote-unquote B-quality, B-plus pay-per-views, and making them stronger and better, almost like they technically did, and how great that card was for Great Balls of Fire. So hopefully they can do the same with other pay-per-view events moving forward, though I don't want to see Great Balls of Fire next year just because of the namesake than the actual event. Obviously, the event actually was pretty dang good, but yeah. Anyways, I have AJ Styles retaining the United States Championship, and Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon teasing something for them forward. Again, for me, something that will go and build all the way to Survivor Series, then to whatever pay-per-view is next for the SmackDown Live brand. Moving on, John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Yes, Baron Corbin, the guy that cashed in on Tuesday at SmackDown Live, and that crazy crap that we already discussed at the top of the show. But John Cena versus Baron Corbin, and as always, Juan, who do you have and why?
I mean, no questions about it. It's going to be John Cena. I think that this is going to be the match that people are going to care about the most on the show. I'm not saying this is going to be the best or the worst match, but like from the moment that the bell rings, people are going to have their stopwatches out to see whether it's going to be a 10-second match or whether it's going to be exactly what many of us didn't maybe think it was going to be, and it was going to be that Baron Corbin may actually get a victory. So every single pinfall, every single cover, like that's going to mean something. So WWE, whether that's their plan or not, they maybe just have made people care about a match that they otherwise would not have. But yeah, I think it's going to be John Cena. And regardless of all the things I just said, I think it's going to be like a 7-minute match with John getting an attitude adjustment that Baron Corbin will not kick out of. And then Baron Corbin, the end of days has arrived.
Blue.
Oh man, I also think Cena's winning, but I think Corbin's gonna come out on top. I think what happened on SmackDown is see. Him cashing in just messed up like everything I had for this match. Because before the cash in, I had Cena winning over the top, Cena doing what he does, and then Corbin cashing in, in the main event. But now that Corbin's lost his contract, I just feel like, to me as a fan, I just feel that Corbin needs to just go in there and just demolish Cena. He needs to just F the match, pick up a chair, and just start banging on him. Like, that's what I want to see. I just want to see Baron Corbin pick up a bat, a chair, or something, and just lay into Cena. Cena wins the match, but Baron Corbin comes out on top just to save his career. That's how I see it.
Okay, and let's excuse me. Let's welcome Jeff from OTRSCentral, OTRSCentral YouTube channel. Welcome to check it out. Subscribe there and follow him on Twitter at OTRSCentral. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you guys hear me?
A little bit.
Yep.
And we'll just start off right here for you. Who do you have in the United States Championship match? AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens with Shane McMahon as a special guest referee.
Who do I think is going to win?
Yes.
I was going to be, but I would have to imagine at this point in time we can all see where this is going. AJ is going to win, and we're going to do something that launches off into Owens versus McMahon at a future pay-per-view, because it seemed like initially that was going to be the rumor that these two guys were actually going to face off at SummerSlam, and they pushed it off. What's the pay-per-view? Is it Hell in a Cell, or is that in October?
No, it's Hell in a Cell. I think it's Hell in a Cell.
So it almost makes me think, because it's Shane and they want to utilize him, maybe to talk to the guy's earlier point about trying to build up the secondary pay-per-views, they want to use Shane on a secondary pay-per-view and put him in a Hell in a Cell, because they know that he can't go out there and work. Typically, he can't work a standard match, although the one with him and Styles at Mania was all right. We want to put him in a situation where he can kind of bump around and do all types of crazy crap, get busted open the hard way, and fool people into thinking the match is decent. So while I don't have a ton of interest in seeing Owens versus McMahon at this point in time, I would think that something's going to happen where Styles is going to win, McMahon's going to screw over Owens, and then we launch off into those two at Hell in a Cell.
Okay, Mountie?
Well, we're on
Cena and Corbin.
we're on. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so to be honest, it sucks to be Baron Corbin right now. There must be some sort of heat on him backstage. Something's just not working.
There is heat on him.
Yeah, there exactly. I don't know exactly what happened. Clearly, like I said before, they lost some interest in him. They're not really quite seeing what they probably once saw, or maybe they think it's too soon, or he's missing that element. They still got to build him to be that monster heel. I like what Blue Demon said when he said that, Cena's going to get that victory, but Baron Corbin needs to do something after the match or whatever to help his career. Sadly, I do feel like Cena's just going to get that victory, have his moment, and then it's just going to be Baron Corbin, middle of the ring, gets up, whatever, and or he's outside and he just has his little temper tantrum, starts breaking stuff again. And, I think that's just going to persist for a little bit of time. And eventually, he can go on that tear that he really, really needs to do. So 100%, in my opinion, John Cena definitely gets that big SummerSlam pay-per-view win that the fans, for the most part, want to see, I guess, But Corbin's he's got to bring it, man. He's got to hopefully put on a good match if they do decide to extend it, But it could very well be a very, very quick one, and he could get humiliated. Really fast. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if the bell rang and it was like a quick 1, 2, 3 after an AA, just to further humiliate Corbin after he just got humiliation of his life about 2 days ago. I wouldn't even be surprised if WWE was to totally make him feel like a jackass, have him lose real quick fast, have John Cena have his little moment, see Baron Corbin temper tantrum again, like, what's wrong with me? I was the man a week ago. What the hell? And maybe they could play off some sort of badass angle with him with that, and eventually he can gain traction again. But for right now, I don't see it happening. John Cena's winning for sure.
Okay, Mark Ramble.
Originally I was going to say John Cena, but I think they're going to have a change of plan. I think Baron Corbin honestly needs this win to save his career. He needs this win. We all know now that John Cena is a part-timer, a official part-timer, that, he's not going to win everything. I mean, for crying out loud, he lost to Shinsuke Nakamura, I think, about a week ago. He's not, unstoppable now. So at least give this man a push. We all know Baron Corbin is the future of WWE. You can't bury this man. I mean, he is in a way. In a way. Considering the fact that everybody else is kind of going. You look at John Cena. John Cena's Hollywood now. To save this man's career, let's just all do him a favor and please give him the win on this one. Because I feel like you can't even come back after that. I mean, you're taking 2 big L's. First, you failed to cash in the briefcase or whatever you want to call it. And then you lose to John Cena at one of the biggest pay-per-views in WWE. I mean, that's hard to come out of. I'm going to go with Baron Corbin. I think it's going to be a last-minute decision. That's what I think it's going to be.
All right, Kyron?
It said that a match featuring Cena, who is honestly my favorite wrestler, is a match I really couldn't care less about. But I was going to originally pick Cena. But I'm going to pick Corbin because of the cash-in alone. I don't think, had he not tried to cash in, but still lost to Cena at SummerSlam, it wouldn't have hurt him that badly. But the fact that he tried to cash in and lost in 6 seconds against a Jinder Mahal who looks pretty much defeated, that made him look terrible. And I don't think losing to John Cena cleanly actually hurts you. Personally, I don't think losing to someone like John Cena hurts you, as long as you look good, like kicking out of 2 A's and still maybe lose. I'm fine with that. But the fact that how he lost on Tuesday, he needs this. But honestly, I really don't care that much. I wouldn't even be upset or even surprised if John won. So I'm going with Corbin.
Okay, and with my mix-up earlier to Jeff of OTRSCentral, we were on Baron Corbin, John Cena. So who do you have in that match, sir?
LOL, Cena wins. # Breakfast Club rules, bitches. Here's the thing. The only way they could really save this whole thing, this whole deal to me with Corbin, the match at all, is to have him come out from the very beginning, jump Cena at the top of the ramp, and just beat the holy piss out of the dude. Did on SmackDown.
Yes.
What they did on SmackDown was a farce and a joke. This is literally one of these things where Vince is trying to sit there and get some buzz before his big show of the summer, and instead of doing that by writing a quality product, he decides to go for this. Hey, if you bothered to watch Money in the Bank a couple of months ago, or you sat there and actually bought tickets for whatever reason to go to the damn show live, we just basically told you that was one gigantic line. So if we're going to sit there and then we need to do something to reestablish him. And I don't even think beating Cena in a straight-up match does it, because like a couple of you guys, I think, just pointed out, beat him. And correct me if I'm wrong, got over on Nakamura. And the point is, with Cena being a part-timer, you run into that trick where, like you have with Jericho, where if the dude always loses, at some point in time, no matter how much of a legend he is, eventually you get a diminishing return for the guy on Jericho. It's that point with Cena too. It's like this massive overcorrection all these years that he didn't put over people when he should have. See guys like Wade Barrett, see guys like Ryback, and so many others. Now we're trying to overcompensate by having them put over everybody, and that crap's not going to work either. So to me, the way to get Corbin to stand out, the way to make Corbin not look like a complete and total fool, is to have him attack Cena before the match even starts, and the match is never even official.
Moving on to the co-main event.
Up the joint with Cena for probably not a whole lot. Only holding up 2 world titles. I don't particularly know why, but
even if the match didn't even start,
somebody else alluded to.
You know what? Even if
alluded to that Corbin's got some heat. He must have some heat in that crap.
Yeah, even if the match never even started, Cena would still kick out at 2.
Oh my god.
All right, moving on with co-main
It's one
event.
of those things. He just
First, the WWE Championship match. WWE Champion, the modern-day Maharaja Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke Nakamura, now known as the Artist. Shinsuke Nakamura one-on-one for the WWE title. So, Juan, who do you have winning? Do you have Shinsuke actually capturing the belt at SummerSlam?
First of all, I just want to say I'm very incredibly grateful for the opportunity that Jinder Mahal has had. I think that he's probably been one of the best champions WWE's had. Okay, I tried, guys. I'm a terrible actor. No, in all honesty, I think it's a tough situation where WWE actually tried to push a guy that was deemed basically unpushable. And it's just hard. Like, perception is key, and I think that as much as you want to try, I think people still perceive him as somebody that used to be in the lower card. And I mean, he'll never reach like one of our fine gentlemen here that keeps getting a championship added to his shoulders like every 5 seconds now. He's never going to reach that level. Even if he goes to India, he's only going to have the one championship. But guess what? I think he may actually go with no championships, because Shinsuke Nakamura, I highly doubt that Jinder Mahal will be the person to beat him for a 3 count. But then again, who the hell thought Jinder Mahal would even be champion in the first place, right? So I think anything is possible, but my pick is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura. Insert hand motion here, because I think that going into India, he doesn't need the championship. I think that with that tour coming up in September, Jinder Mahal can hold on his own very well, and he can feud on, with anybody else, or just battle for the championship there and win it back in his home, in his own people, in his own country, in his own language, and then we all just worship the modern-day Maharaja.
Hey, champion over there, Blue. Who do you have winning this match?
First, I want to say the champ is here. The champ is here. Rebel in it. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Mahal needs to hold that title going into that Indian tour. It sucks because I would love, I will go crazy if Nakamura wins the championship. That would be something to see. But business wise, I really feel that Mahal is going to keep that title, go through that Indian tour as a champion, and it's sad, but that's just how it is in business. In the business world, got to make that money. You know what I'm saying?
Excuse me, Jeff.
Here's my thing: is you would think in theory that the Money in the Bank would be telegraphing Nakamura SummerSlam, but an India tour, and you want to establish Mahal as a Kali type of guy, although I don't think he's at that level in terms of India, to have him retain here, which kind of sucks, because to me, if you put Nakamura in a title shot situation, he should be. Went with Mahal up to this point. You're going on this Indian tour very soon, if I understand correctly. I'd be really surprised, even though I think deep down they want to put the title on Nakamura and probably will. There's a part of me that wonders if it is going to be Mahal that retains, because now they don't have the Money in the Bank. They would rather have somebody else. Because the awkward thing about what happened here with Nakamura is, with that match with Cena, time to build up towards a WWE title match at one of your big 4 pay-per-views. And combining that with the whole reason you put the belt on Jinder to begin with was to make a bigger imprint in the India market. To me, it would seem kind of counterproductive to take him from 3MB to he got Hulkster vitamin packs, and all of a sudden he's twice the size he was. Now you've put the world title on him to all of a sudden just take it off of him, and then you're going to tour in India. Seems like bad business to me.
Mountie?
Really good points, Jeff, I have to say. Very, very informative. I like it. And I agree with you. As much as I would like to see Nakamura as champion, and there's no way he's not going to be. Do I think it should happen Sunday? No. I think that WWE might have. They kind of booked him a little weird since he's started.
Yes.
Good appearances, good matches. Don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, the way to really sell him and to give him that first title reign is to have, and this goes for Finn Balor also, it's got to be, in my opinion, either Finn Balor or Nakamura that wins the Royal Rumble and gets the WrestleMania chance, and then hence they win at WrestleMania on the big stage. I mean, he's a big attraction, and Jinder is doing a fantastic job right now as champion. I don't think his time is up as champion, especially like you said, going into India. This was the whole point behind it.
Yes.
There's really no reason for Jinder to lose. Now, that being said, I will say that Jinder obviously is not going to get that, clean victory. It's going to be nasty. The Singh brothers are going to get involved. I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw another appearance by the great Khali, near the end again. Like, when you think Nakamura has it, maybe Khali comes out again. Like, I don't know what his deal is right now, but you might as well capitalize on it, because you can't have Shinsuke look weak and lose this. You need to have him face a lot of adversity so that at least he loses in a dirty fashion, therefore making Jinder even more of a heel, because he's just doing awesome work right now. You got to keep it on him. In my opinion, there's no other way to book this match other than having Jinder walk out as champion, and you have Shinsuke still look strong, right? A strong style. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jinder, man.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm agreeing with you on Jinder, and two really quick things. I'll get out of the way here for a second. Number one, you could have Jinder even walk out, because let's face it, it's not like this match is going to main event anyways.
No.
Remember, is the four-way for the Universal title. So how much does it really matter in the grand scheme of things? Two, I would think, as maybe if anything, an FU to New Japan.
FU.
To make a statement. You actually do a tour, and you're in Tokyo. Maybe you're in the Tokyo Dome or something, and that's when you would put the belt on Nakamura for the first time.
That's nice. That's nice too. I like that. That's really good stuff.
That's just me, though. But I think you're right. I think Jinder's got to somehow go over, even if he looks like a punk ass doing it, because it kind of made him look like a punk. I'm serious. It kind of made him look like a punk ass, anyways. So why not go all the way with it?
Exactly.
Good and business, and go into an area where there's 1.3 billion people. You can build the entire tour around him carrying the strap.
Absolutely. And you know what? His little roll-up on Baron Corbin even solidified his place as a heel even more. Just by having that little sneaky victory, like, oh, that fucking weasel did it again, That's the way I see it happening. So, yeah, you just got to keep adding to this guy's – he's got a plethora of ways to win matches. And you might as well just keep it rolling for now and eventually take it off of him. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to the whole match. I'm looking forward especially to both entrances. I think they're really going to do something special for both of them. And although it's not main eventing, I really think it's going to be a lot better than what people think it is. You still got two really good talents in the ring. Jinder can go, man. And, yeah, I think it's going to be something special to watch regardless of what happens.
All right, Mark Rambo.
Guys, the only match I'm looking forward to, and SmackDown in particular, is definitely, I want to see Shinsuke going against AJ Styles. If you guys watch New Japan, they actually fought at Wrestle Kingdom. I can't recall which one. 10, yeah. I always get that shit confused.
Amazing.
10. No? Okay.
Yeah, it was an amazing match. I definitely enjoyed it. Of course, I didn't see it live. I had to watch it on YouTube because there's no way in hell you can see it here. But really, that's like the only thing I'm looking forward to in the near future. But right now, I see Jinder Mahal definitely taking this one because, like you guys said, there's an India tour coming up. why would you take the belt off of somebody who is technically boasting about, wrestling for 1.3 billion people right before tour going to that same exact spot? I mean, it just wouldn't make sense to me. It would be really idiotic on behalf of Vince, because that's the only person I could blame, to do that. It would be stupid. So Jinder Mahal winning this one will only make sense. It's gonna be a good match, like you said, Mountie. It's gonna be hard hitting. It's gonna be, the Singh brothers are obviously gonna come out, because they come out every fucking match. I mean, let's not lie. And also, before I finish, I feel like Jinder Mahal he could be a better champion. He hasn't, to me, got a good win. I mean, I understand that you're a heel and everything, but the Singh brothers have literally saved him in every title defense that he's ever been in. And it's gotten to the point, for me, it's like, okay, how is he without the Singh brothers? Could we give him a clean win? It could be a dirty win. He could, put his feet on the rope while he's pinning whoever he's going against. He could do anything. But just for crying out loud, please do not put the Singh brothers in it. I mean, I'm tired of seeing them.
I think it's hilarious, the fact that he has these two guys. Like, am I the only one that finds it funny that a guy that's 6'5", 250 pounds of Hulk Hogan vitamins, By the way, he's on the same routine as I am. I'm his trainer. But I find it hilarious that these guys are even with Jinder, Like, I look at these guys and I think, park my car. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? It's just they're so small. It's like, Jesus, like, this is hilarious. I know that they're doing that on purpose. I know it, but it's just so funny to me.
You think that you could kick their ass, and that's the problem right there.
Exactly.
With a lot of the roster,
exactly.
You don't look at these guys and you don't get intimidated. I want to ask Ramble a question really quickly. The two. Have Shinsuke win now, knowing that they're not really that invested in him being the champion. It probably would be a shorter title reign. Rather him not win here and get Shinsuke and AJ at Mania, and have that be the first time they touch in WWE.
I'd rather have AJ and Shinsuke first time.
I thought so.
That would make sense, because then if Shinsuke were to be champion now, I mean, it just wouldn't fit. I would like to see, let's see, for example, Shinsuke does win. What's next? I mean, who is he going to go up against? That's the question I'm thinking about. It wouldn't make sense to give him the belt right now. Right now is not the perfect time. So to see AJ and Shinsuke go against each other for the first time, I think that'd be best fit for SmackDown, and it will bring the ratings up. I'm sure.
Not to mention, for that match, you don't even need a title. You need no title.
Yep.
I just want to say, I think Mahal's been doing his best as champion he can. Like, a lot of people thought he'd get the title. He was lazy, wouldn't care. He's doing his best. It's not been a particularly good reign, but he's given everything he has to make it work. And I gotta, give him props for that, because a lot of people didn't think that would happen. The thing about now with Nakamura, I think up until the Cena match, he wasn't booked at the best. I mean, let's say, like, take a casual fan, for example, and they came back because they heard, Jinder Mahal's there to be champion. They come back to see what's going on, and they don't watch They don't know anything about New Japan. They don't watch it, anything like that. I don't believe. I mean, you look at Nakamura come out. Oh, great interest, great thing. Why is he afraid of hard care? Why is he doing all that? I think that if they watch some of his booking, they wouldn't care about him. Now I'm picking Nakamura to win this match by DQ. I know a disqualification finish to a WWE title match on SummerSlam is a terrible. It's not a smart idea. But you want to keep the title on Mahal, but you want to keep Nakamura looking good. So it's either Mahal wins dirty or disqualification. I think they'll go with the latter. And I just want to respond to Mark when he said Mahal never won a title match clean. Technically, he beat Baron Corbin clean on SmackDown.
Did he though? I could have sworn his feet were under the ropes.
That's as clean as I'll ever get. He didn't need the Singh brothers' help.
You got a point there. You got a point.
Here's the answer from the business standpoint. I'm kind of late to the game on Nakamura, and some of you other guys have probably watched him throughout the years in New Japan and whatever. But a couple things. One, we're having this opportunity at the WrestleMania of the summer. If it felt right and it was right to do it, you guys would be marking out all over the place for this, gigging out for it, and we wouldn't even be talking about Jinder Mahal. We'd be saying screw business, screw everything else. The fact is we're not. Number two, hook with Shinsuke winning the championship at this point. It just almost kind of feels like, guys, it comes out of nowhere. To me, a Shinsuke is better served winning a Money in the Bank, winning, and you have 2 months to build to it, because let's face it, back they marketed Yokozuna as Japan. He was fucking Samoa.
Yep.
The company has been with black wrestlers over the year, not wanting to put the WWE title on them. They've been equally as bad with the Jap. So you literally should be an entire storyline that plays in and of itself as how historic this would be and how momentous this would be and how big of an opportunity this would be, how big of a game changer this is. Because of the WWE right now, you're going into this match, you're throwing them in there, none of it. To the way it's been packaged, if Shinsuke won, it would be a big deal for people. But I hate to say it, but it would kind of go over like a fart in church in the sense of it wouldn't explode Twitter, WrestleMania, when you've built it up, him being the Royal Rumble winner, having that 2+ months to build it, give his background, give his, you talked about the thing you don't know that the WWE, what the hell it even is about. We need more background, we need more depth, because when a guy like Shinsuke wins a belt, it should be a big effing deal. And it should be an opponent, and I'm sorry, Jinder Mahal is not, and this moment just doesn't feel right.
Yep, I gotta agree with that.
Same here. That's what I said too. He has to win that Rumble. You know, he has to do something.
All right, main event,
a little bit more.
WWE Universal Championship match: Brock Lesnar, the champion, Roman versus Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman on the Raw brand. So, Juan, who you have winning that championship?
For me, first of all, unfortunately, due to some personal things, I got to head out after this, so my apologies for that. But I have to say it's going to be Braun Strowman. I know that he's probably the one that people least maybe expect to win. I'm not going to say that they don't want to see him win. I'll say it is this. I think it's great whenever you have a legitimate beast of a champion that is a believable monster. And aside from Brock Lesnar, the only other option you have is Braun Strowman. I think that Brock Lesnar will inevitably make his way to the UFC, and I think it will be nice to have a monster that, I don't know, is actually part of the roster and doesn't unfortunately just rely on German suplexes now. Because like Brock Lesnar is incredibly talented, but look, compare Brock Lesnar 2003 to now. I'm not saying he needs to perform shooting star presses, but at some point, German suplexes, I get it. The counts, they're cool. You're powerful. What else? Like you don't give me any enjoyment. Look at Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar and what happened then. Like it's been disappointment after disappointment, not just from myself, but I know the other guys in BYTE that have felt the same. I think that if you look at Roman Reigns, I think that they're just going to stretch it. How many times have almost everybody has accepted this is when he's going to win the championship, and they find a way to not make him champion? It's almost like they want us for him to become champion just so we get this over with, right? But I think that Samoa Joe would not be the best option, really, because I think he needs to like lay low. Don't push him to the moon yet. But Braun Strowman, we can complain about Shinsuke or Jinder or Baron or anybody else that they've been pushing or not. They've been doing an excellent job with Braun, even with the ridiculous stuff like pulling over the hospital, like the ambulance, I should say. I forgot my words there.
That was
like,
epic.
Those things, as ridiculous as they are, they work. Like, here is a character, a wrestler that is good. His voice sounds like a monster. Like, every little thing just works. So make him champion, make him tear down the entire roster, and have it be about who is going to dethrone him. And then you get the Superman punch, and then he gets dethroned eventually, and then we got Roman Reigns. But hey, Braun Strowman, I would take it one step at a time. So that's been it. But unfortunately, I do need to head out now. So, Steve, everybody, thank you so much. Count on my support or anything down the road, and the folks on Bite That. You can check out our full predictions also on the channel. So, Bite That Cast on YouTube. And at the same time, anybody else, like, feel free to share on social media. We'll follow you, sub you guys. It's all about community building. So, this has been an awesome experience, and I hope we do it sometime down the line again. So, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for
And
showing
like you
up.
said, everybody
Take it easy,
follow
man.
and check them out. Bite That Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube, on Twitter at Bite That Cast. And I thank Juan for his time predicting here for WWE SummerSlam. And hopefully we'll have him here for Survivor Series and other Big Four events moving forward. Next up to bat to pick, Blue.
In a perfect world, Braun Strowman. In my world, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
But in the WWE's world, it's going to be Roman Reigns. It's going to be Roman Reigns.
Shit.
Like I said, I've jumped on the Shield reunion bandwagon. People's been telling me for months now, all three is going to be champion. They're going to reunite on Monday. Big celebration. The Shield is back. So I'm going to go with Roman. It hurts my soul because Samoa Joe is my boy. And I think Braun definitely does deserve it. But I think Roman Reigns will be your new Universal Champion.
Mountie.
Oh, this one I'm having a very hard time with. I mean, the way I see it is there's really no wrong answer. There's so many ways you can book this and you'd be fine going forward. I do like the idea of Strowman winning. I think they need to strike while the iron's hot with this guy. Not that I see it fading out anytime soon, but you don't want to overstay his visit in the main event card. So, although, the only thing that threw me off was the finish of the go-home show on Raw. I found like there was a lot of focus on Lesnar and Strowman. And that tells me two things. Either they might be going with Strowman for the victory, or they're just sneakily, Roman Reigns, overcomes everything like he kind of always does. And he's been quiet lately, especially on a pay-per-view standpoint. Like, he didn't get that victory on Strowman at Great Balls of Fire. I don't remember what the Raw one was before that, but I feel like
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, it was Extreme Rules. Thank you. And I don't even remember how that one went. There's so many.
Joe won that match.
He did, right?
Yeah, I was there, so I remember.
I hope so. So I don't know, man. Like, I kind of it's not a. I can kind of see Roman Reigns, winning this one again. But I also do like the idea of Strowman winning, and then you have Roman chase after him. It's really a tough one. It's really, really a tough one. I guess I have to pick one, or else I'm going to be here all night. Not that that's a problem. I'm having an awesome time, but you know what, guys? I'm just going to go with Roman Reigns on this one because I think that's where the safe money is. Clearly, I thought maybe WWE was kind of screwing with us a bit. Maybe for a split second, I thought Lesnar could maybe retain just to sort of throw us all off. Like, wow, I can't believe he did that. But with Heyman, with his little cage joke there, like, hint, hint. I don't know if you guys heard that. I picked up on that real quick. And is there going to be John Jones in the arena? Maybe he's a distraction for Lesnar. That could be interesting, like an interpromotional thing. Wouldn't mind seeing that. But in the long run, I guess it's the safe bet to kind of put the title on Roman. Samoa Joe is a sleeper pick here. Nobody's really picking him except for Blue Demon. You said that, right? Didn't you?
Yep.
Something like that.
Roman.
Yeah. So, man, I you know what? I'm gonna go with Roman Reigns. I'm probably wrong, but ideally, I'd really love to see Strowman get that victory. I think this is gonna be an awesome arena and experience for him, and I really hope that he rises to that occasion. He should be a little bit more and more comfortable with main eventing now. So I'd love to see what he can bring to the table. I'd love to see him walk out with it, though. So it's a tough one, man. No idea.
All right. Jeff, OTRSCentral.
So,
looking at the four guys, the most idiotic thing they could do by far would be to have Brock retain. You're throwing him into a four-way into NFL season, knowing that the ratings of Raw are going to naturally take a dip on top of the dip they've already taken over the past several years. It's natural once you get into September and football season. You can't have a part-time champion. You just can't. And if this company does, they deserve whatever the hell they get. You literally could not have Brock get pinned and lose the title. It's like you've booked yourself into a corner where you have no other choice. They're at here. And I think them having Brock win would be ridiculous. Roman Reigns, the way they did it, especially the heat they've tried to build between him and Joe, makes me think that they're going to go into with those two guys post SummerSlam, and whether or not that's for the title or not remains to be seen. But I don't think Roman's going to win here. And honestly, fish to fry come Mania with Cena anyways. And let's face it, Mania, wrestling Cena for Reigns is a much bigger deal than wrestling again for the title again. So it comes down to two guys. I talked about it a couple weeks ago on my channel. You have to strike while the iron's hot. It's where they've screwed up with guys in the past, such as Ryback. When you had the opportunity presented itself, you had the moment at hand, you could put the belt on him, and you didn't, and you screwed it up, and the character never recovered. We don't know if Braun is truly over, or if he's just over right now because people don't like Roman Reigns. He's been kicking the hell out of Roman Reigns for months. So the one way to find out potentially if he is over, or make sure that he's over across the board, is to have him pin Roman Reigns Sunday at SummerSlam and win the title. If the title reign doesn't work, you can always throw it on Joe or Reigns or somebody else. To me, there's a very big appeal to having Braun win it because you do have to strike while that iron is hot. The option would be is if you did Samoa Joe and you had Paul Heyman turn on Lesnar with Samoa Joe. Especially if you're talking about Brock, if people think that he's going to fight in UFC against Bones Jones in the future. You want to keep Heyman on TV more, again, especially heading into NFL season. You've seen some reports behind the scenes that he's advocating Samoa's belt. To me, where the shtick of Heyman and Lesnar has gotten kind of worn out, beyond just Brock going into a match and being lazy as hell and suplexing all the time, and that's all he does. Talk about the biggest statement you can make would be to have Samoa Joe win that belt Sunday at SummerSlam, main eventing, closing out the night, and it's because Paul Heyman screwed him over ultimately. Now, nice. Paul Heyman has went from the former NCAA heavyweight champion, the multiple-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the former UFC World Champion. He's decided to put his cards in the Samoa Joe basket. Samoa Joe's character to a whole different level. And to me, it's much easier to build your flagship show Raw around him as the champion than as opposed to Braun Strowman. Because if you do put the belt on Braun Strowman, the one challenge you have is how do you take it off of him and how do you not diminish him, or how do you get him to be a quality champion? I think there's more depth, more layers there with Samoa Joe. To me, that's personally what I would do. They could very well just have Joe win and Heyman does nothing. But to me, if you want to knock it out of the park, because this is a massive main event, this feels like what a Big Four main event should be. Mm-hmm. Something that will have people buzzing that next night on Raw and going forward. You want to set up potentially months of programming. To me, it's got to be Heyman turning on Lesnar, aligning with Samoa Joe, and Joe wins the belt that night.
I like that. That's really good.
That's what should happen. To me, it's the only they have heading into the NFL season.
Mark Rambo.
I'm just gonna say this. I don't think I can get anywhere as close to as good an explanation as Jeff just had, but I'm gonna try. I think
you can do it, Rambo.
We believe in you, brother. Do it for the Bays. Sorry.
I think it would be smart to have Braun Strowman be champion. But considering how much they've been pushing Roman Reigns, I could see Roman Reigns winning. I could honestly see Roman Reigns winning this, and I'll be pissed. Because right now, I'm not the biggest fan of Roman Reigns. I think he's better as a heel, honestly. If I'm being completely honest with you, him as a heel would just be gold. But you know, Vince is being Vince. He's kissing Roman's ass right now. So I'm honestly I'm gonna go with Braun Strowman for the hell of it because I like Braun Strowman. He's just making matches exciting to watch. I mean, last week I do believe was when he threw the chair at Roman Reigns. Was it last week?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell was I? I was not expecting that. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. Like just instantly, Roman Reigns just falls. Like you just see a flying chair. Okay, that's weird. That never happened in WWE ring before. That was creative. So it puts more spotlight. It puts more momentum. It puts more people picking Braun because it's like, okay, let's see what he could do with the belt. Let's see if he's a good champion. Let's just see what he could do when he's now the top guy in the company. I'm picking Braun Strowman on this because one, Lesnar's leaving. I think that's pretty obvious. Just like I think you said, Mountie, Samoa Joe is a sleeper. Samoa Joe is very much so a sleeper. I don't think Roman Reigns should be anywhere as close to getting the belt because he's been pushed too many times, so long. It's irritating looking at him. People don't like him. And it's even worse now because he, beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. But I'm going with Braun Strowman this one for sure. I hope that is the case because if it is Roman Reigns, there goes the ratings. The ratings are dropping. The ratings are dropping, and Vince is going to be struggling.
All right, last but not least, Kyron Chase.
I'm not going to make a lot of friends with what I'm about to say. First off, let me just say that what I want to happen is what Jeff said because Samoa Joe is my favorite guy on Raw. I wouldn't mind Braun Strowman winning because Braun Strowman's just been awesome. And as one of the only people on YouTube who doesn't hate Roman Reigns, and I'm not a fan of Roman either. I like him. I wouldn't mind him winning.
Better as a heel.
But sadly, Lesnar will retain the title because for a few reasons. One, they're just trying to blend fiction and reality with all the UFC talk. But Brock still has a whole year left on his contract, and I heard he has a no compete clause for UFC that doesn't expire anytime soon. So they're not going to let him go. That's number one. Number two, they're still going to bank on Reigns versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, even though that's not a match we really want to see. And three, and I hate saying this, but I'm going to do it anyway. The Barclays Center's official Twitter spoiled it when they tweeted out that the Monday after Raw, the Raw after SummerSlam, Universal Champion Brock Lesnar will be at the Barclays Center. So he pretty much spoiled for us there that Lesnar's going to probably be retaining. So I'm picking Lesnar to win.
Boo.
Fuck the Barclays Center.
Boo.
I mean, we all know this is going to main event.
Yeah.
So we know how Vince typically, unless he's going for the ultimate troll of I'm going to piss off as many people as possible, or I have no choice but to put this match on the spot, which is possible. But generally at the big shows, he does as much as possible like to send the people home happy. And even when I go back to WrestleMania, main event Reigns and Taker, because nothing else was going to follow it. Even though the match was kind of sad and tough to watch, the people still went home with warm and fuzzy feelings, even though they were pissed that Roman won, because he had the whole thing and he's putting all of his gear down in the ring, and it was like this final homage and thank you to Taker. I just feel like something where either Joe or Strowman wins because that's going to pop the people the most, because he's in the reaction business. And like people talking about Roman Reigns is better as a heel, they don't even know how to do face or heels anymore. And it's a tough way to do business because
good point.
They've convinced themselves that it doesn't matter, that all that matters is how much of a reaction you get. And to me, Reigns winning would get some heat, but so many people would expect it that I don't think it would get the heat that they would anticipate. I think Joe choking out Lesnar or Braun Strowman pinning Roman Reigns is going to get a much bigger pop and a much better reaction that they can build off of the next night on Raw.
And for me, I have Roman Reigns actually winning. Now here I'm going more my heart over my head because I am a big Shield mark and want them to return, and see that happening on Monday Night Raw, and Ambrose and Rollins tag team champions, Roman Reigns Universal champion, and we get that happy ending in a way, and having the Shield fully reunite in WWE and having that happen the Raw after SummerSlam. The likelihood that happen, I'm sure that is low, but for me, I indulge myself in thinking that's going to be the reality, and that's going to be what happens when we get to Raw after SummerSlam, that we have that pretty picture of Roman Reigns, WWE Universal Champion, standing right in the middle. To his left, you have... Shut up, Mark. We have Dean Ambrose on the other side, Seth Rollins. We have the Shield. There you go. And we have the Shield back all together and move on from their destruction and kicking ass, taking names. So that's what I'm hoping to happen, and that's what I'm predicting to happen. So I do have Roman Reigns winning.
The Red Belt Squad.
I'm a cock fist, everybody.
But I wouldn't be surprised at all, as most in the WWE Universe actually will be yeah. I see over there. As actually having Brock Lesnar retain the championship, I actually see that actually being the second most likely thing to happen, in my opinion and in my prediction. Like I said, I'm going with Roman Reigns, but Brock Lesnar retaining is second. Last being Braun Strowman, third being Samoa Joe. In my ranking of who I think is going to come out SummerSlam leaving the Universal Champion, because what's going to happen, or what I think might happen, is remember John Cena, that guy. He is a free agent, and he's going to be coming to Monday Night Raw. And when he comes to Monday Night Raw, we might have a Cena Reigns title match earlier than you want, Mark Rambo over there, and have that WWE Universal Championship match sooner rather than later. Remember what I was talking about earlier, guys? WWE actually promoting and actually giving about their other pay-per-views beyond the big five. Actually carrying, actually having the cards like they kind of did for Great Balls of Fire. As much as I hated the name of the show and all that other stuff, the card and it's on its own stood to me as a pretty good show.
That was a good show.
So for them to have less doing that again,
that's so Cena and beat him.
My God,
They would.
I got a question for you, Steve.
All right, Mountie.
You're saying Roman Reigns is going to take the title. Who eats the pin?
All right, Roman Reigns becomes WWE Universal Champion, and the former champion takes the pin. Roman pins Brock Lesnar.
Wow.
Steve, that's not happening. I'm not going to have Lesnar.
I don't even see that.
If Roman wins, he's probably going to pick Joe. Thank you.
Yeah,
yes.
Joe.
Damn, I didn't think my prediction there was that crazy.
They booked Brock Lesnar like a demigod. That man is not getting pinned by anyone. That's why I was so shocked when Goldberg beat him in 86 seconds. But let's be honest, is Reigns really gonna pin Lesnar of all people? If Reigns wins, as a matter of fact, if anyone other than Lesnar, if Reigns wins, he's pinning Joe. If Joe or Strowman win, Reigns is gonna probably be the one to take it. Even
I wouldn't
taking the fall, but Lesnar's not getting pinned.
I'm going to say this. Yeah, I kind of defend Steve on this. I don't think the notion is as ridiculous as we're making it out to be. It would be funny because he'll be the only guy in that match that would pin Lesnar. But if you've been building to potentially those two facing off at 34, you know that he would be pinning Lesnar anyways. So what the hell difference would it make? Why not get it out of the way now?
And from there, you're building it on up to that match, as Jeff was talking about. And that's what I was kind of... Even though I forgot to, but I was kind of alluding to that too. And if Brock Lesnar's going to be away for X amount of time, and he comes back and he wants to get revenge and beat Roman's ass, and then you have that match at 34 in New Orleans, which hopefully I'll be able to be there for my very first WWE event of any type. From a house show to a pay-per-view, so hopefully WrestleMania 34 be my first show. But anyways, that being when we have Brock versus Roman, there for the title. Which then means for those that don't like John Cena, which it seems like Mark Ramble is on that camp, you have Roman Reigns successfully retain his title when he's facing John, and you're just having John there just being more catalyst to build up Roman Reigns further and further, stronger and stronger, just as much as WWE's been pushing and building up Braun Strowman. So that's, like I said, that's where I'm going with. I'm going Roman Reigns for the win, pinning Brock Lesnar, the unpinnable, I guess. pinning Brock Lesnar and becoming the new WWE Universal Champion. And then I'm wrong. Like I said, we have the Shield back and all that other fun happiness moving forward for myself, as much as others may strongly disagree with that prediction, but that's just where I'm going my own.
No, that's pretty good.
I think the other thing is I'm laughing about it, but I keep coming back to it. Things they could have Brock retain about Cena being a free agent. They'd have him either beat Joe or beat Lesnar, and then it's going to be him and Reigns for the title at 34.
Anything with Reigns in it, if he's still a face, I'm not with it.
You're gonna watch it anyway, so I mean, no one's saying that. You're gonna watch it no matter what.
Oh yeah, definitely, I will. Absolutely.
Reigns and Cena is the money match for both of those guys at this point. Let's be honest. You've done Cena and Lesnar several times. You've done Reigns and Lesnar enough. Since they were too stupid to ever do Taker Sting or Taker Cena, the biggest money match I feel like they have right now is Reigns Cena.
I want to take a Cena so badly, and the fact that we didn't get it made me. I was so angry about that. But yeah, I think Cena and Reigns is pretty much the last money match they really have, like for WrestleMania. I mean, I want to see Cena face Samoa Joe also, but I don't think that's a money WrestleMania match. But Reigns and Cena, I think it'll be a good match, and it is, that could make a lot of money because casual fans could probably want to see it. Hardcore fans are going to want to see it, no matter how much they're going to complain online about it. But.
Who do we hate less?
Yeah, exactly. Who's going to boo the most? That's really how it's going to go. Right?
I saw a poll that asked the exact question. It was, if Reigns and Cena fought, who would you cheer for? 73% said they cheer for Cena over Reigns.
What?
Wow.
Yes.
I could see that.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd probably, surprisingly, I'd cheer with Cena.
I would be 100% on Roman Reigns on that match.
Reigns would win. So, I mean, obviously Reigns would win, but I'd be behind Cena.
Yeah, I agree with Karen. I'd be behind Cena, but I think Reigns would win.
But think about this for a second. So if Reigns pins Lesnar, right, then you have like you guys were talking about, if you had Cena be the free agent that he says he's going to be, then you probably have a number one contender match, perhaps. Between, Cena and maybe Strowman, and then Cena goes over Strowman. So on one hand, you have Reigns saying, I beat Taker, and I pinned Brock Lesnar. And then you have Cena, well, I beat Braun Strowman. Like, it would really, that would sell, regardless, like you said, it would be something to watch. And I would still kind of enjoy it, I'd like to see what happens. It's like 2000s versus these days, right? Like current era. It almost is very similar character when you think about it. A guy that always overcomes any obstacle thrown his way. You got the big dog in one corner, you got the never give up in the other. Like, it would be really good. It is the money match, like Jeff said, like 100%. So I don't know, they could work with it, and you can kind of see what happens. I'm interested to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if Reigns was to pin Lesnar. That's not a bad one, Steve. That's a good one. I
think the other thing is we know Cena's sitting at 16. Vince would love nothing more, even with Cena being a part-timer way out. Vince would like to sit there and be able to pump out all this propaganda for years about how Cena was his guy and Cena's the best of all time and all that hot garbage. They've got that 17th title matzo ball hanging out there, and I'm wondering if they think 34 might be it for Cena in terms of him even being a part-time guy. Like, he might evolve into a once-a-year, a Rock type of guy. I almost wonder if they would put it on Joe just to have Cena come over, to have Cena win the belt, and then carry it to Mania. So he's got the 17th world title. He's better than Ric Flair. Woo! And all this other garbage. You know what they would say for months. He's the greatest of all time. Big match. John does it again. You can't see me. Oh, boy, he's got a little boner in his shorts.
Oh, God.
I mean, seriously. It all comes back to Cena all these years later.
Yeah.
That's just maybe that's the cynical part of me. But there's a big part of me that thinks everything to do with SummerSlam at Sunday, that main event, is going to tie into Cena coming over to Raw. Because we know he's coming to Raw.
Yep.
Yep.
And I just want to ask Blue over there, what are your thoughts on my thoughts and my crazy prediction with Reigns pinning Brock Lesnar?
Ain't no way in hell Roman Reigns is pinning Brock Lesnar. I got choked up saying it. I mean, I understand the everybody saying it's good points, but there's no way in hell Roman Reigns is pinning the Beast. I'm sorry, I just can't see it. I'm gonna go crazy if that happens. I might throw.
Let me ask you this, Blue Demon.
What's up,
5
man?
years ago, did you think that in Lesnar's first match back in WWE in 8 years at Extreme Rules 2012, there would be any way in the world that Cena would pin Brock Lesnar?
Good point. Good point.
I mean, looking back at it, I think, as of course, when you're a little kid, you just want to see John win. But growing up, I look back and like, yeah, Lesnar really should have won that match.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it this way: when it comes to the WWE's golden child, ever underestimate the levels that Vince will stoop to force it down your throat, pound it up your ass. Like, I don't know how old any of you guys are, but days of the Warrior as a kid, Hulkamaniac, like I always have been. There was a period of time where Warrior eclipsed him in my eyes for about a 2-year stretch. Why? At the time, gave me no choice. They pounded him down my throat in such a way and did it over and over and over again to prove a point that eventually it happened. And if Vince and Hunter are convinced enough that Reigns is still their guy, never rule that out as a possibility. Never.
No.
True words could not have been spoken.
Cockpit, everybody.
Whatever.
I don't know. I'll be looking for tweets from all of you if Roman Reigns actually pins Brock Lesnar this Sunday.
Yes, and Blue Demon should have to come on here and do an apology video. And it's like you can picture Blue Demon right there, and you just play it back, and then the reality hits, and he's like,
It's gonna be tears in my eyes. I'm just let y'all know right now. I'll be sad as hell. I'm like, no, I can't believe it. Why?
He should have to get a Roman Reigns shirt and wear it proudly, Stevie. Don't you think? If Roman Reigns pins Brock Lesnar Sunday, he has to buy some Roman gear and rock it for a month.
You should take that up. If you really don't believe that's going to happen, Blue, take that. Take that off of Blue. If you really don't think that's going to happen, you should take that off of them. I mean, you're obviously that confident that Lesnar won't be pinned by Reigns, so take that off. Take that back.
You know what? I got it. If Roman pins Brock, I will probably wear a Roman Reigns shirt, and I will make an apology video to Steve.
And while you're doing that, in that apology video with the gear and what you're saying, Roman Reigns music in the background.
Well, damn, just pile it on, boys. Just pile it on. What else you got?
You got to do
what is
I got to do the jack off. I got to do the jack off.
No, you don't have to go that far.
If it doesn't happen, Steve should have to do a 10 Reasons Roman Reigns Sucks video.
Oh, well, actually, you got easy material. Just watch it. Just type it up on YouTube. You'll find some easy material from that.
I'll do that, and I'll have the winner's theme in the background. Whoever won.
Hey, weren't we supposed to have themes today? What happened with that?
Yeah, my other stuff wasn't working on my Kindle Fire.
I was really curious to see what it was going to be.
I was curious to see what my theme was going to be, too.
Yeah.
Mine should better have been AJ Styles.
You're not that good, Mark. You don't deserve that thing. I love you, bro, but you don't deserve that thing. I don't deserve that thing.
Kieran would get that Ray Lewis. I'm a killer.
Oh, that's uncalled for. That joke's wrong. That's wrong. I can get down with almost anything as long as it's not someone I really hate.
It's not a joke if it's kind of true. Just saying. What does Ray Lewis do for fun? Kill 2 people. Where's the white suit at? I don't know. It disappeared. It evaporated like fucking Harry Potter. 17 years later, we still haven't found it.
I think Steve would have had. I think Steve would have had the Mr. Kennedy theme because he's from Green Bay, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
I
Brown
didn't think
Bay.
about that.
Actually,
Oh, God, you guys actually been to Brown Bay? Oh,
for my own theme, I would have had Triple H My Time theme. I always liked that as Triple H's best theme in his career.
which
But actually,
I agree.
I have Mounties since he was worried about it and cared about it at all.
he
I have
always
your
gets his
theme.
man.
Here's your
Sorry?
theme that I was gonna pick for you to start the show, but we'll just do it now.
That's mine?
Yep.
Oh, God.
Explain.
You're a lunatic.
Are you
bro.
saying I'm a fucking lunatic? Is that what you're saying?
No, bro. I mean,
Thanks for your hospitality,
Are
Steve.
you trying to tell me he needs to wash his ass? Because that's what one thing Ambrose needs is a shower, like bad.
Yeah, is my hair that bad? Am I losing it or something?
No, you're good.
Are we all right? Are we good?
Who needs plugs? Who needs plugs more? Dean Ambrose or Baron Corbin?
Well, Corbin's going bald.
Wow.
Oh, Baron's gonna have to take that
They
one.
don't get LeBron plugs.
Shit.
all right. Well,
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that.
Steve, what was my thing gonna be? Out of curiosity, what was my thing gonna be?
all right, I got it right here, Kyron. You're actually gonna be up next.
Coco beware,
It's
for
sexual,
sure.
baby. It's sexual chocolate.
Wait. Why do I get Randy Orton's thing?
You got voices in your head, bro.
Boner, Kieran?
I do. Hey, look, I'm right behind him. Hey, look at him. I'm right behind him. There you go. Right there. Boom.
Why do I get Randy Orton's thing? I just want to know, Steve. Like, why did you choose Randy Orton's thing for me?
All right, Mark Ramble, you're up next.
Oh God.
You ready?
Dodge.
Here you go.
He gets the Samoan guy.
Oh my gosh.
I like it. Good picking.
Is Rock doing any movies with Kevin Hart coming up soon?
I have no idea.
Jumanji.
Be the 2 months of the year that he remembers he's half black. Okay.
All right, and then here is one
How
for
dare he cover up the Brahma Bull too? Screw him.
All right, this one's for Jeff, OTRSCentral.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I hate CM Punk.
Personality. I love that song.
Hell
Speaking
yeah.
of
Just say
another
I
thing,
hate CM
wash his
Punk.
ass. He got his ass whooped.
He really did.
I tried.
Oh,
I
God,
went out
he
there
did.
and dude, shut the fuck up. You got paid $500,000 to job in 2 minutes in a real fight. I used to get my ass whooped in school for years for free, and they took my money. I'll sit there and take that beating for a fifth of the money. Give me a freaking break. Ain't nothing heroic
Look,
about
Jeff.
it. He got his
Look,
shit
Jeff.
pushed in.
Jeff, I'm really sorry about that. I'll give you back your money, okay?
Hey. And the Mounties theme should be the Mounties theme.
Oh God, no.
He's the Mountie, and he always
I
gets
thought he
his
was going to
man.
go with that. I really did. I'm like, it's probably going to be the Mountie theme.
Appropriate.
Or the Quebecers or something stupid like that. Oh, well.
Oh, God. Oof.
You're probably
Or Dino
getting Bret Hart.
Bravos.
Probably get Bret Hart's thing.
Oh, that makes sense.
No.
That makes sense.
All right, last but not least, Blue and his theme that I picked before the show, so even though it's more apropos now that we've been talking about things.
I knew it.
Oh, wow. I knew it. I was like, it's coming. I already knew. That's why I said that. I knew he was going to do it. Shit. Do it. Oh, my God.
That's amazing.
Suffering thuckatath.
That's messed up.
So there you go. That was everybody's theme.
So he has to come on here now and say, it's my yard now, bitches. Next time. That's still the promo of the year.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Heyman guy, but that was the greatest Roman Reigns moment I've ever seen. He owned that crowd.
Oh, yes. He definitely did.
Like he said it best. I got them in the palm of my hand. He owned it.
And then I guess even though he's not here anymore, this one was going to be for Juan of OTRSCentral.
Ooh, for life.
As he is the host with three people in there. So the NWO theme for Juan of Bite That Cast wrestling podcast with that three amigos, three musketeers over there at Bite That Wrestling Podcast here on YouTube. So yeah, Kyron, Mark, Jeff, everybody, what do you guys think of your themes?
I thought it fit me very well.
I don't see how Randy Orton theme fits me at all.
I think CM Punk was a gross misjudgment and an abomination of justice. If it's not going to be the Hulkster brother, somebody else that is fitting, somebody that if he was in the company today, even on one good leg of them all, and that is the king of softball, Psycho Sid. Like, to me, I legitimately would pop to see Psycho Sid and Braun Strowman feud, just to talk about, is Sid the better softball player of all time, or is Braun Strowman's daddy the better softball player?
If Sid comes back on, he better reference the greatest promo of all time, and he better tell Strowman, he said, you are half the man that I am, and that he has half the brain that he do. That's the funniest promo in history of
jackass, and then WCW got on the second rope because Johnny Ace's dumbass told him he needed to do this spot. And then his leg would snap, crackle, and pop. And then after that, Steiner bumps into his leg, which is mangled in like 5 different ways. But Sid finished the match. Sid is better than, no matter how much I laugh about him breaking that leg even 16 years later, I'll mark for Sid as much as anybody. Fuck anybody in that company by comparison. Roman Reigns can eat a dick. John Cena can take a dick. Probably not the first time. We know he loves his fat girls, so who else is fucking... world. Next time, Steve, it's either Hogan or it's Sid. You can give me some sexual chocolate. That's okay.
I bet I never get that thing. That's one thing I should never get. Here's a question. I know Mark's gonna watch, but who else is gonna watch NXT besides me and Mark?
Yes,
oh yeah, I'm checking it out for sure. For sure.
You know, I got Asuka and Ember are gonna steal the show.
Is it Rude McIntyre?
That's gonna be good.
I'm a huge McIntyre fan, so I'm really looking forward to this. I was a fan of him before 3MB. I loved him when he was the chosen one. I saw great things in him, and then it just kind of, faded away, and then he got released, and, well, you know what happened there. But I love to see him back. I was following him, going through, like, TNA and everything else. But, this is a good opportunity for him. I really think McIntyre he's gonna win the title. I think Bobby Roode, it's his time to come up. We need some fresh faces on the roster to boost ratings. Like you said, if Reigns wins, then you know what, we need something. We need something fresh to make us want to tune in also. And I think that's the perfect opportunity. I think that's going to be a hell of a match. I also can't wait for Sanity to come up. I really think we need some new tag teams soon as well. So NXT is rocking, man. And Saturday is going to be no different. It's going to be amazing. They always burn the house. They burn the house down. Steve, did you say you never saw a live event before or anything?
No, nothing of WWE. Live event, Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-view.
Brother, man, we got to all like pool some money together and send you a ticket because you're missing out, man. You got to get on that, bro.
I know. I'm turning 30 next April, so that's why I'm hoping WrestleMania can be the show that's my first WrestleMania and my first event of anything.
Wow, now that's a good way to kick it off. But I warn you, anything after that might be a little bit of a letdown.
Exactly. I went to WrestleMania, then went to Extreme Rules, and while I enjoy Extreme Rules, Wow, it just couldn't. It was nowhere near close to reaching the length of WrestleMania.
I'm still
I can
shook
see
from
that.
just
And
the
every year I get
reaction.
And every year I still get those. I don't know if you guys in your areas get those emails from WWE of these pre-sale codes for their shows in your area sort of thing. So I still get them, and I mean, I'm not sad or depressed or anything. It's just like, oh well, I'm not going to it, but cool, thanks.
Stuff happens. Mountie, I've got to ask you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Steve. I was just going to ask Mountie.
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking about Drew McIntyre, rocking back and forth in your chair. For some particular reason, if you're looking at it in the wrong context, it almost looked like you were visiting the Spank Bank. Like, wow, it's the chosen God.
So what you're saying is you guys saw me. No.
I noticed at one point in time the right hand came up, but I didn't know you could have been left-handed. You could have been ambidextrous sort.
Yeah.
Take 2 hands to finish. Could switch off.
I wanted to use my left. Yeah, I wanted to use my left hand. I wanted to, I was trying to pretend it was you doing it, but
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
especially with a fucking naked man behind me. I mean, I can see where you're coming from. You know what, bro?
You have all that baby oil from Randy Orton, don't you? You're just like, oh my god, the legend killer lives forever.
Hey, fuck it, boys. I might even change it up tonight. I might even throw Lesnar in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Jesus. What the hell?
He's got a big sausage fest.
Look at him. Look at him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I dish it out. I could take it too. I'm gonna get you back for that, though, brother. I'm gonna tell you that right
This dude is dying.
Oh, Lord.
As long as I didn't do the money shot and say the chosen one at the same time, I think I'm okay. You know?
He's probably definitely gonna get around if he comes out this Saturday night with his old WWE theme. Maybe he comes out to that theme. You'll definitely get around from that.
Oh yeah,
I know I wanted that
for sure.
I think that's what's gonna happen. I was listening to his old theme the other day, and I just kept listening to it. So I think he's gonna come out to his old theme.
I think so too, because I don't know if any of you guys, I'm sure you did, but saw on Twitter he even tweeted out lyrics of his theme.
Yep.
Ahead of this match that he did over. So I hope he either debuts it actually at the event or at the NXT after SummerSlam when he becomes a champion. Like that's just part of his celebration coronation segment, and him coming out with his old theme that was great. And like I said, I wish he kind of had it when he returned at all. But thank God he's back. Thank God Drew McIntyre's back and hopefully after having a stint with the NXT Championship and Bobby Roode coming to the main roster, then Mr. McIntyre can be one of the next ones.
Does anybody else think that Kieran looks like a grown-up version of Kevin Hart?
NXT Women's title?
I think he sounds like him.
I sound like who?
I think he definitely sounds like him.
I look and sound like who?
No, I said you look like a grown-up version of Kevin Hart. They think you sound like him a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that you sound like him.
I don't see it or hear it for that matter. I mean, I know. I'm glad you didn't say who they usually say I look like.
Look like Urkel.
I'm lost.
They said you guys know about the Golden State Warriors. They say like Draymond Green up the Golden State Warriors.
Shrek the donkey.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no, Draymond legitimately looks like Shrek. No,
yes,
I'm
he does.
just saying.
Yeah, he does.
And poor Ramble back there with this Steph Curry thing in the backdrop. He's like,
how many times I gotta tell you, Mark, to take that Steph Curry poster down? How many times did I tell you? Take it down.
Okay, let me tell you. I had a Kobe fathead, and the Kobe fathead broke. It like ripped off and everything, and it stopped sticking to the wall. So I had to get something.
How dare you Black Mamba with Steph Curry? You should be ashamed of yourself for that.
Was it raping the wall, Rambo? Is that why it fell apart?
Oh, wow.
That's something for Jeff.
This elevated quickly.
Something the Bears might not ever get again.
I'd like to welcome you out to the late night portion of the podcast.
Yeah, I guess
Shall we
so.
get time right in there?
How many people tuned in? You guys see it?
Last time I checked, it was like 24 or something.
Yeah, that was less than my check. Now it's only what 9.
And sometimes with the Hangouts, it's who knows. There's one time it said here for me as the host that we're only 10 viewing, and then I'm done. It processes and ups the channel, and it's 36. It was 36 and whatever. I'm like, what? I thought it only said 10. So it was, I don't know. Sometimes it can be weird. Who knows how many actual we had, especially now that we're rambling about other things.
Sometimes the rambling is the best part.
That is the name of your show, right?
Isn't that right, Bloom?
And I love the way Steve all of a sudden goes back to his picture once he brought out the Val Venus towel.
Yeah.
Hey, don't disrespect Packers.
Michael Jordan saved the universe from basketball playing aliens. What has Steph Curry done?
Got him there. I mean, he is a 2-time champion, 2-time MVP, but he couldn't win Finals MVP either time.
Michael Jordan beat the Monstars. What's LeBron going to do when they do Space Jam 2? Oh my God, they took Blake Griffin's freaking health. Yeah, he can't stay healthy anyway. They took DeAndre Jordan's free throw shooting ability.
That's not good.
They took Dwight Howard's free throw shooting ability and his condoms that he never fucking uses anyways. He uses shit.
If
well, we know LeBron James is taking the Monstars down next.
If Braun Strowman was in Space Jam movie, would he be would he be known as the Monstar among men?
That's too easy. WWE movie. Who am I kidding? They are that stupid. But I don't think they. But I don't think they would do that to Braun Strowman. Hopefully.
Yeah. True. Well, this is fun, guys. I had a blast.
I know. I was just gonna say, I know that just give me. I didn't know if Jeffy wanted to predict any other matches, or you're just fine with what you came in with.
No, I'm glad I was able to come on here. I'm sorry I didn't get on here at the beginning, but it didn't dawn on me at first, Steve, when you had messaged me telling me about the change in time. I'm like, oh, I'm technically obligated to watch Destination X because, again, as kind of one of the mottos of the show is with some of this stuff is I watch so other people don't have to, and I believe they're very thankful for that. Honestly, with this card, I'll give my overall thoughts of SummerSlam as such. Way too much damn show. 4+ hours of the show, knowing that this is going to go past 11 p.m. Eastern because they can't manage their damn time. And it's just going to be too long of a damn haul. Like, I literally had to take Monday off of work knowing that I'm going to have to review SummerSlam immediately after SummerSlam is over, and knowing I'll probably be up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I think, honestly, the only match that really matters is that main event, the Universal title match. That's the one, like, they've fucked it, or Finney the Twink Finn and Bray Wyatt already, so now we had to have a match just so that way he could come up with the demon paint. Then you've got already lost his cruiserweight title, but then they're still having the match anyways. Like, so much of this, they seem to be eager to blow their load ahead of time. Stop to it. No, I'm good. I stand on everything else because most of the rest of the crap. What I'm going to talk about, Sasha and Alexa again. Jason Jordan and the Hardy Boys, like the Hardys being one of the highlights of WrestleMania with their return. To now aren't they working on the pre-show with Jason Jordan?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're for sure teaming with him to help Jason Jordan get over with the fans.
Originally, they were going to do Jason Jordan versus Miz for the title, but I guess they got cold feet on that idea. So they're doing a 6-man tag.
Which was stupid because you should have been with Jason Jordan's dad, Pops, being Kurt. You shouldn't be afraid to force him because his storyline wise, it logically fits. Nepotism kicks in. You're going to take care of your own first. It would make sense that Kurt would push Jason Jordan to the moon, that he would get that IC title shot. He would win the IC title, and then you could do real business with him by turning him fucking heel. $60 million look. And the thing for Vince is is even though he doesn't like to make black guys world champions, he never has, he never will, he's light enough like The Rock where he could find enough justification to do it potentially. So he's got the multi-million-dollar look that even Vince McMahon's not going to deny that much. He can go in the ring, has no mic skills, but neither does Roman Reigns or 95% of the damn roster, so what difference does that make? Looks like box office, so why not align him with one of the best characters from the Attitude Era, and frankly, one of the best characters and performers from the past 20 years in wrestling? They don't even put them on screen together. And now you're just randomly throwing him in there with the Hardy Boys in a six-man tag? That's dumb, Jason Jordan. You should get that die, Rocky, die type of heat on this dude.
Agreed.
Star.
They're gonna have no choice because this face Jason Jordan it's just not gonna work. I said it on my Twitter. I'm like, he's gonna be. I mean, and I say this with a kind of a grain of salt. He's gonna have that Roman Reigns heat very shortly. And that's why they're probably aligning him with the Hardys at this point. It's just to help get him over with the crowd. But once those guys are gone, it's just back to business as usual, and people aren't really going to get behind him. Let's face it, though. Out of the two in American Alpha, better future.
Even though Gable was more popular, and for me personally, the better of the two.
Yeah, but he's just...
Oh, Jason Jordan has a much better future.
He's just going to...
Because Jason Jordan naturally... is different. Yeah. Chad Gable looks like so many other 5'10", 200-pound guys they have on the roster. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Different.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, he's just going to be another solid mid-carder, like a Dolph Ziggler or something like that. And, I'm not saying he's not going to get his time. Like, he's definitely going to, have some sort of solid, maybe a reign with the U.S. title eventually, or perhaps even Intercontinental. I think it's going to be successful. But I definitely think that they're going to invest the money in Jordan. How they're going to do that, it's up to them. But I really agree with you that they need to, they need to side him with somebody, and they need to turn him. They need to turn him heel eventually, and they shouldn't wait too long because it's not a good idea.
What they should have been doing is they should have been doing vignettes from the very beginning, catching up on all those father-son moments they missed out on over the course of almost 30 damn years. They should have been playing catch together. They should have been chasing girls together. They should have been camping and fishing and hunting. They should have had the birds and the bees talk. Like, literally, you can get 2 months worth of vignettes and packages just out of that concept before you even needed to really throw Jason Jordan out there. And you allow Kurt Angle to use his comedic timing and setup to do shit. And you've created this interesting and compelling character, and you've actually utilized the resource that you have with Angle. Like, why sit there and go there and spend literally weeks and weeks to build up to this and not do anything with Kurt now that it's actually been announced and revealed? They should have went balls deep in this.
Here's what I would do with Jordan. Sort of like the same thing he did with Kurt when he first came to WWE. Make him a heel who thinks he's a babyface. But the problem with that is he's just going against heels. I mean, let him go against baby faces, and he thinks he's a baby face because who his dad is, and he thinks, oh, well, my dad's one of the greatest of all time, and they love him, they'll love me. But he's a heel, but he thinks he's a face. I think that's what I would have done with him.
Oh, like kind of like what they did with Bo Dallas, right?
Yeah.
That was solid. That was good. That was good stuff.
And then
when Kurt Angle first came back. Oh, sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just saying, and then they ended his long winning streak with with R-Truth for no reason. Like, literally, Bo Dallas should have been the guy through victories and beat everybody on the roster up to and including Cena, even if it was the most accidental fluke bullshit of all. Like, that was the whole character, was this motivational speaker could have kind of played off of religion sometimes and how some of these big money preachers are frauds. Like, you had this whole thing. He could have sat there and beaten everybody, but it's due to interference, it's due to countouts, it's due to disqualifications, it's due to and they screwed him up too, like they do everybody. WWE ruins everything.
Yeah, I thought for sure once Kurt Angle was coming back to the WWE, I thought that he was probably going to align himself with American Alpha. It made sense to me because they always reminded me of World's Greatest Tag Team version 2, if you will. And I thought it would have been really good TV. But then they brought him in as, obviously, the GM. He's doing really good stuff there. I love him way more than I ever did for Mick Foley. I thought that was a mistake from the get-go. But, I don't know. It's like they need to be careful how they handle Jordan. I like the idea that Kyring said, make him that over the top heel that just like he doesn't understand what's going on, but he's just, you know, he thinks everybody likes him, but nobody does. I think that could work, you know, and then he can go into more of a serious persona eventually because the guy's ruthless. He's a very good in ring. In my opinion, he's got one of the best belly to back suplexes or belly to belly suplexes right now.
Yeah.
You know, very, very good stuff, you know.
And Jeff, I don't know if you already alluded to this in your thoughts, but do you see Carmella cashing in her Money in the Bank briefcase on Sunday?
Me, that almost says there's more mileage to Carmella failing to cash in too. I mean, if we're gonna go there, let's get nuts. The issue is even though I think the gimmick is freaking stupid. When he does this Feel the Glow, it feels like something I would go down to the candy bar here in downtown Richmond and stick a 20 in the stripper's thong type of shit. She's been a successful champion. And, you know, she's definitely got some people like her, really enjoy her. I think, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Even though there's a part of me that says if you're going to have Baron Corbin fail to cash in, I think there's more money with and James Ellsworth might get for not cashing in successfully, but I think she cashes in Sunday. I think she does, which is whatever. These women in WWE, man, I'm sorry, but so many of them are just bow wow ugly. Oh, y'all probably not going to agree with me, but
I don't agree with that at all.
What's that?
I disagree with that almost completely.
You disagree with what?
The hottest one in WWE is not even on TV anymore.
What did you say?
They said the hottest one on the women's roster isn't on WWE television right now.
Let me guess, Steve. Are you talking about Carmella?
No, she's on television. I'm talking about Summer Rae.
Oh, hold on.
I forgot she's still
Butterface, Summer Rae.
Hold up.
Yep.
Oh my god!
I forgot Summer Rae still work with the company.
No, she doesn't. Like I said, in my opinion, she's the hottest one.
Naomi has a body, but I think it's more so that a lot of these girls, like I look at Becky Lynch, she would have some potential, but she dresses like a fucking slob. Like she looks stupid. Like she doesn't do herself any justice.
I have a thing for Becky Lynch, so I disagree with that. I have a thing for her, so I think you're wrong right there. I think Becky's very beautiful.
Becky's my boo, my bae.
I think Becky could do herself a lot of justice by dressing better.
I mean,
I don't think she's ugly. Like, to me, somebody that would be ugly is Charlotte.
Well, I don't know. She's my number 2.
All right.
Steve.
I'm with Steve on that one.
After I seen them leak pics, I don't know. Charlotte ain't I don't know. I don't know about Charlotte.
Yeah, I don't know. Y'all killing me with these white girls, man. I'm just saying. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Well, for me, like I said, I have Summer Rae number 1, Charlotte number 2, and Renee Young number 3.
Ooh.
Hey, Young.
When did
Dean Ambrose did right by marrying Renee Young.
Yeah, he did.
Renee Young's cool though.
Blue Demon, I know you laughing over there. You agreeing with me, but you're not saying anything.
I'm
right.
enjoying the conversation, but I do agree with you.
That's why you're giving me the affirmative. Like, I'll put it this way. Like, what's frustrating to me is just talking about the women is they brought back Mickie James. If you're going to bring back Mickie James and do something with her, why the hell would you bring her back and not do anything with her?
I agree with that.
Still eminently hotter than pretty much any of the female wrestlers.
Agreed. Very much.
The real problem for WWE though is when the ring announcer JoJo is more popping than any woman that they have on the roster.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And Bray Wyatt smashing her.
Bray who? It's Bray Offerman.
That's all right.
Eater of puss.
Eater of
Follow the
JoJo.
buzzards.
Love me some JoJo.
I mean, between JoJo, I still have Maria Kanellis above JoJo.
Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Disagree.
What is wrong with
This
you?
ain't wrong, bro.
Absolutely not.
My ass is bigger than Maria's, thank you.
Absolutely not. I completely disagree. Completely.
Oh my
100%
God.
disagree.
Steve.
Nobody wants to talk about Lana here, really? Are we
Lana
really
is
doing this?
definitely
No.
top three.
See, no. Like, well, for me, I found out with, like I said, my ranking and everything. I do have a thing for the blondes and such. But beyond that, you know, like I said with Maria, you know, I just JoJo. Yeah, she's all right for some, but not for me.
Wow.
I understand you're from Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
And I'm originally a Midwestern guy, so I understand about the homeliness of some of the women, and that's kind of comfortable. But Summer Rae, granted, Lana's not really my thing either. She would be one of those ones I'd put it in her butt one time just out of principle, not even for enjoyment, just for disciplinary reasons, and then that would be it. You're taking Summer Rae over Lana. That's just insane.
Well, I have Alexa Bliss over Lana and over JoJo.
Okay, like I could even understand Alexa Bliss, but you're saying Summer Rae over Alexa Bliss, my man.
I wouldn't take Summer Rae over Alexa Bliss.
I would not.
Thank
I would definitely take Alexa Bliss over Summer Rae. Easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Yeah, because like Alexa has that thing of like, I used to be a nerdy girl back in the day, and now I'm on TV. I'm kind of cool, but I'll still swallow you, no problems.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised. I mean, I know some of you might not agree with this, but I think Asuka looks pretty good.
You know, I'm gonna have to agree slightly.
She's
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree. Sometimes she looks a little different, and sometimes she looks acceptable. But I would agree. I would definitely agree.
But then again, our friend of the show, Tyron and Mark, Jay, of Talking WJ, his number one is Nia Jax.
Say what? Agree. I mean, she's not ugly, but
it's far from
Nia Jax is that type of big girl that will sit there and you tell her, you pull your cock out, and she'll sit there and treat it like it's a T-bone, put some steak sauce on it. Man, magic's gonna happen. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah, I thought our good buddy Raunchy Mikey had no chill. Nothing is wrong with you.
Yo, this guy is.
We got to get you on them bigger girls, man. Do you like girls that are like toothpicks that you can just bend to like a pretzel and break them? Nia Jax will throw you back and put you in the camel clutch, make you humble.
And this guy was accusing me of spank bank. That's fitting. That's fitting.
That's Jay with Nia Jax and me with Summer Rae. You know, we have our different interests.
Summer Rae is like the blonde version of Karen Jarrett. They both kind of look like horse faces. I'm just saying. They feel like I got to bust out the carrots and oats for both of them. Wow. I think when Fandango does the skits with Tyler Breeze, and Tyler Breeze puts on the women's wig, and he's like, you know, for a second, he's hotter than Summer Rae. Is probably what he's thinking.
Yeah. Please stop.
You can't. I mean, Summer Rae, she is like attractive, but compared to Alexa Bliss, this is just in my opinion. Compared to Alexa Bliss, I don't think she's close.
Would y'all bang Stephanie McMahon even with the mom arms?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I probably would.
Yeah. That's not even a question.
It's a business decision.
Probably kill me after. That's a risk.
He's gonna pedigree you.
I'll take that risk. He'll take a sledgehammer to my face, but I'll take that risk. That's a risk I want to take.
No, he likes to put it in her butt.
What about Linda McMahon?
Every time you put it in her vag, they have daughters.
Ain't nothing wrong with no grannies.
No, but not that one.
Right?
I was playing. Chill.
When I was not gonna forget your mother.
Hey, that where God was. Good. What do you think the Macho Man did when he first broke that off when she was like 17?
Ooh, yeah. I don't believe that story.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't believe that story.
She definitely snapped into a Slim Jim. That's for sure. No.
Kieran, you're telling me you don't believe that story?
I try to see the best in people, so I'm good. No, I don't believe that story.
Let me, from a logical standpoint, Vince never brought Macho Man back to the WWE after all of those years. He brought back Hogan, Hall, Nash,
Warrior.
almost everybody. Not have brought back the Macho Man at some point.
Fair enough.
What other reason would you have? Because you can't say it's a business decision, because this is the same dude that brought back Sable after Sable previously had filed sexual harassment charges on him. He's the one that brought back Brock Lesnar after 8+ years. So if he feels it's right for business, he would do it. And you can't tell me he wouldn't think Macho Man would be good for business. That's crazy. So why would he not bring back Macho Man?
Well, he was getting over the. He was getting to the near of his career, though. At the end of his career, Macho Man, wasn't he? Like when he went to WCW, you could notice he was getting noticeably older. Even though he was on the juice, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see anything left in the guy.
The Hall of Fame,
and then
Hall of Fame.
I was disappointed that he wasn't there for his Hall of Fame induction. He's one of my favorites. Of course, I didn't grow up in the '80s, of course, but of every wrestler I've ever watched from the '80s, he's my favorite. And I was very disappointed to see he was not inducted. Like he wasn't there for his induction.
And as somebody that did grow up as a Macho Man fan, it's something I don't forgive Vince for because it was too damn late. Like nothing against Lanny, but Lanny's not Randy. No. And it needed to be Randy. It needed to be all of that. But
so what you're trying to say is they should have done it before, right? That's what we're saying.
Oh yeah,
because
it should have been
because obviously he was dead at that point. Like they waited way too long,
Yes.
I mean, if you could patch up stuff with the Warrior, like you said, and all those others, I mean, I'm surprised that they never really got around to doing that with Macho. It's too bad because the guy was just fantastic, ahead of his time. Man. So many classic matches: Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Jake. I mean, there's just so many. There's just so many to count. Hogan, of course.
Hey, Warrior had his best match against Macho Man.
There you go. That's right.
Maybe. I don't know. There could be a part that says WrestleMania 6 was the better match because it was in front of 4 times the crowd.
Yeah, but I think 7 told a better story and was better from an in-ring perspective. It definitely had a more memorable moment after the match. Well, for me personally, but
yeah, if you tie in what happened with Liz afterwards, yes, maybe. But I can tell you, as somebody who grew up in that time, who watched both of those pay-per-views live back in '90 and '91, the better match at the time because that actually told the better story. It was the Hogan Andre irresistible force, immovable object type of thing. The story around 7 was it was a retirement match. That's really what the whole story was. In Warrior and Hogan, these two big baby faces, and mind you, at the time, wrestling just didn't do that. Massively over babyface and this massively equally over babyface, and have them face off for the title.
Huge.
And it was title versus title. I mean,
that was huge. I remember all that, man, like it was yesterday. I remember where I was. I remember it was unbelievable, and I was going for Warrior as much as I loved Hogan. I was still going for Warrior because he always had that I guess it factor for me because I was much younger too, right? I think. What year was that? 91?
90.
No, that was 90.
90. Yeah. So I was 5 years old, and man, like I remember it like it was yesterday. It was just unbelievable to watch, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah. For these other guys on here that maybe didn't grow up with Warrior, don't ever let anybody sit there and sell you on the propaganda from like the self-destruction, the Ultimate Warrior, and all that other bullshit. People say Warrior was a failed champion and he wasn't a big draw. They are full of shit and they are jealous because
I agree.
Jim Hellwig drew more money than 99% of the guys in the history of the wrestling business. And if they want to argue with me, they can kiss my motherfucking ass. Because I remember as a kid, the only guy that ever took Hogan as being my #1 favorite of all time was him. Warrior.
I agree.
It would be like somebody coming along and Austin's your favorite, and then all of a sudden The Rock is your favorite. Like how great Hogan was is he took that Toronto crowd at WrestleMania 18. In the world at that time was The Rock.
Oh yeah,
hated Hogan. And Canadians like a more serious technical style of wrestling. Hogan, for so many reasons, should be the anti-Canadian hero. Maybe not in Bret Hart's mind, but Bret is Bret in his own way. But Hogan took that entire Skydome crowd and turned them viciously against The Rock. The Rock, like Austin.
And his prime, at the height of his popularity.
At the height of his popularity, Austin couldn't do that. So it speaks to Hogan's power and ability to connect with an audience. Asked him for about a 1.5, 2 year stretch. Don't ever let anybody tell you any differently.
Well, like I said, I didn't grow up during that time, so I can't look at things with Hogan and Warrior with the nostalgic glasses that you guys can. So when I see it, I'm like, okay, these matches are really good, but like the way people from the who grew up during that time praise them as the greatest they've ever seen, I can understand that. But just for me personally, I wasn't around to see them.
That's right. For you, without the perspective of the history and growing up with it at the time, you're completely right. WrestleMania 7, the Warrior Savage retirement match is much better.
Yep.
Then you understand it. It's kind of like I've always said about the invasion angle. It was a complete and total piece of crap.
Yep.
You could have written something better on a good shit.
Yeah.
But for people that were growing up or were young kids at the time, and you had all these crazy, awesome things happen in terms of surprises and turns and everything, it was cool at the time. But for older fans that grew up when you had those three companies, and in particular WWF, WCW, to see how they did it and gave you this abortion of an angle, it pissed people off and they've never recovered. It's less than half the viewership it did 15 years ago. Because you hurt the fans' feelings, you pissed them off.
Well, I think the invasion failed because he didn't have the big name, and they didn't have the money because the XFL failed. And I personally think the XFL, they could have succeeded with the XFL if they didn't bash the NFL every chance they got, didn't integrate wrestling so much, and they had given them more time to gel as team. They waited 4 weeks. They needed more time than that. Because honestly, and they did bring some stuff like, mic'd up and Skycam and things like that. And I feel if they had just waited a little bit longer, not bash the NFL, and, not try to integrate wrestling to the XFL so much, they could have succeeded and they could have gotten more money, and maybe they could have bought those big contracts out from WCW. The invasion probably could have went over better.
He always had the money to buy out those WCW contracts. It's funny, you sound like literally somebody that just got done watching This Is the XFL. That product died is because the product on the field sucked. And it's that simple.
I mean, I kind of wish it did succeed because, as much as I do watch the NFL, I kind of do wish they had another something to compete against them. Same way a lot of wrestling fans want something to compete against WWE. I would like to see something compete against the NFL because a lot of people are getting tired of the NFL for different reasons. And the XFL, has some of the reasons that a lot of people hate the NFL for.
Agreed. And at least I will say with the This Is the XFL documentary, they got some credit for some of the things they did bring in that the NFL took and pretended that they created.
Exactly.
Which is kind of ironic because Vince is butthurt about that. Vince, you took Starrcade and made it WrestleMania. Like Vince always says he had this grandiose idea. No, bitch, you stole it from the Crockett's. They did Starrcade first.
You couldn't. That's true.
I mean, so it's all that WWE propaganda over the years. Like if you ever watch the McMahon DVD, he tries to talk about they talk about Black Saturday when they bought out the TBS rights from Georgia Championship Wrestling and everything, and they tried to sell it like, Ted wanted to get in the wrestling business, and we told him he'd sell it to Crockett's and he could buy it back. That's complete crap. A freaking disaster for that company. The ratings tanked in those time slots. The WWF was losing their ass in the deal. They had to get out of it. It's just, that company's done it for so many years. They spin so many things that sometimes you got to be careful as a fan not to get caught up in it. Deserves recognition for the Skycam, some of the guerrilla style filming that they did, the increased amount of interviews that they do. Baseball and basketball got those in between quarters or in between innings interviews that came from XFL. I mean, they shook up the presentation of sports in America. That they can't take away.
The last question I want to ask pertaining for pro wrestling and WWE is anybody here or all of you all looking forward to the Mae Young Classic? It's going to happen. I know after SummerSlam, immediately following, they're going to have bracketology. You know, WWE stealing stuff from pro sports, doing a thing like CBS does with bracketology and everything before, and ESPN as well, for NCAA March Madness. WWE now has these bracketologies like they did for the Cruiserweights, and now for the Mae Young Classic. So is anybody here actually looking forward to it? And have most of you actually been able to not see the actual spoils and knowing of how the tournament has gone so far?
No spoilers. Going to watch and get a reminder, Kieran, of there are beautiful women in professional wrestling, and almost none of them are in WWE. There are some babes in the Mae Young Classic, and some babes that can go too, so you get like the best of all worlds. So I will be watching. Yes.
I'm not gonna read any type of spoilers. I will be watching it. Hopefully, because I didn't watch the CWC last year, and a lot of people said it was a mistake. So I will be watching this tournament. Hopefully, it's good.
Based off of what happened with the Cruiserweight division, though, you really didn't miss anything ultimately, because it ended up leading to a big disappointment.
Cruiserweights need to just stay on 205 Live. But anyways, Mark, what are your thoughts on the Mae Young Classic?
Oh, well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. That's not even a question. I honestly want either Candice LeRae or Toni Storm to win it, but I have a feeling Candice LeRae is going to win. Because she has a video on YouTube on the WWE's page about her, how she went against the Young Bucks and Kevin Owens at PWG. So it's a lot of attention on her, and plus she's Johnny Gargano's wife, so that kind of adds more attention to her. She's good even without all that. So I was rooting for her in the first place. You'll definitely see me watching that, though. I like the fact that it's different because it's all women in it. It should be good, though.
Where did Blue Demon go? Did all that talk of Nia Jax get him worked up and excited? There he is. Don't say you turned off your camera. You ain't sleuthing on me, dog. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Mae Young Classic, but I just want to know what's going to happen after it's over. Like, what's going to happen?
Because they need women.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, what's going to happen for all those women that's in
that?
Like,
that's what I was going to say. It was the same thing. Like, I just don't know where they're going to go from there. You know, what's going to happen with the winner? What happened? Like, you know, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm interested in seeing it, though. I think it's going to be very good. It's a very good idea. I love the fact that they're, you know, speaking on the topic of that, if I could just throw in one more thing, I think that they should have an all-female Royal Rumble. I'm down with that. You have enough people now. Why not? Just do it.
Do they have enough
fucking
people?
2 Royal Rumble matches. I think they do, man.
Evolution of women in world wrestling entertainment.
No, you want to evolve women. If they insist on bringing in Ronda Rousey, you would bring her in at the Royal Rumble, have Miz be like one of the last 2 people in the ring, and Ronda Rousey would eliminate the Miz or something. If you want to evolve, you're better off finding the right champion. Like years back when they brought in Awesome Kong. Better. Like if Miz was the champion or Dolph Ziggler was a champion going into Mania, like you could actually have Kong freaking beat them for the belt. If you want to sit there and make a story that everybody's going to talk about, that's the biggest thing WWE could do, even bigger than making a black WWE champion, is making a woman the champion on that roster. And that's because of the brand split. They really needed this Mae Young Classic just to get an infusion of talent. I hope they find 8 to 10 girls, because they need to split them between the 2 shows, because they just don't have enough, because they keep going back to the same women and the same stories all the time.
Right.
And maybe that's how they can have enough women for the 2018 Royal Rumble to have their own Royal Rumble, getting most of the women and signing most of the women part of this current Mae Young Classic that's going to be happening. Then again, how many actually want to or will or yada yada with their schedules, with their end dates, will be coming to WWE. But I do think that will be happening, whether it's this upcoming year in 2018 or in the future, whenever soon. I do feel that's the next step in evolution, revolution, whatever they're calling it, for the women's division in WWE. Then beyond that, their final step being women main eventing WrestleMania. Main eventing WrestleMania for women would be the end all be all, the last rung there on the chain of command of what they want to do in Revolution. At least to me, so having the women main event WrestleMania being the last rung there on that metaphoric ladder to finally get to that all they're looking for. So I think that would be the way to go. And so next being the Women's Royal Rumble. Now, one thing I hope they don't do is which they did with Cruiserweights, the Cruiserweight Classic having the 205 live show, the UK tournament having now the UK shows are going to be UK shows. I think that's going to start sometime soon. Is have a women's only show.
No.
You need them on Raw and SmackDown. As within WWE, but have them on the mini shows and be able to split up and be able to then be able to have the right amount and total amount of women that you would need to have said Royal Rumble that we're talking about. Like I said, that's the next step for the women's evolution. To do that, you need the right amount and total amount of women to make that believable, and then obviously beyond that, booking it and having that being the great match that it can be promoted and should be.
I think they could. They just need to tread lightly in a way. They can't do too much too fast with this. Like, if you want to add something like once a year, do it. Like, so this year, okay, you had the women's Money in the Bank, and then next year you kick it off with a women's Royal Rumble, and then you coast and you see how it goes, and then maybe the year after that you do something else for them. I don't see how. It would be a big mistake if it was to be its own show. I really don't see that. Doing that well.
Rumble.
Pardon me?
A women's Rumble match is a terrible idea.
I don't know, man. I think that could be pretty interesting.
The Royal Rumble match, part of its appeal is that you have one of them per year. Like, literally, there is no other match in wrestling that is like the Royal Rumble. To all of a sudden now have a second one that would be clearly inferior. I don't care what anybody says, especially if they use the old Vince McMahon rule that the women, you just throw them through the ropes. They don't have to go over the top ropes.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm okay with the Money in the Bank match. Split. You wanted to have a second Money in the Bank match on the card. I get that. But the Royal Rumble is a whole entirely different deal. They don't have enough women. It's even worse. Even if they sat there and had 30 women, those two matches alone are going to take over 2 hours. Matches would really stand out. Neither one of them would be really differentiated. It would kind of become one big schmoz, and it wouldn't be a very good viewing experience. If you think about it.
I hear what you're saying, but I think that if they were to kick off maybe the main card with it, I think it could pump up the crowd. I really do think so. You have enough good female talent now. In fucking 2000 there or whatever, like you only had like fucking Ivory and Trish and Lita. Like you have a plethora of women talent. Whether they go that angle with the ropes or not, about that, and that would suck. I didn't even quite think of it myself, but other than that, I think that you could bring some merit to that, and I think that it would be worth watching, but they have to put it at the right time. They can't have it back to back, obviously. But if you start off the pay-per-view with that, and then you have a couple of title matches, and then you go right into the Rumble, I don't know. I think it's something that they can maybe tamper with, really.
But the women's Rumble would have to be shorter than that then, because the men's Rumble alone kicks up over an hour. And
that's what I'm talking about.
And if the women, I can see they do like maybe 15 or 20 women, but if they really run out, they don't have 30 women to begin with. They take the women from NXT, but they really try to go 30 women. That's gonna at least hit an hour, and it might be a few more minutes after that. So if you take that's 2 hours and about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and since they make the big 4 hours now, that's 2 extra hours and less than that you have for the other matches.
Too much, and it's too much of the same. And if you do a women's battle royal with 15 or 20 people, then it's not a women's Royal Rumble match. A Royal Rumble match, people, after the first year, obviously they did 20. Every year after that's been 30, except the year we don't talk about when they didn't do 30 because they were stupid, because they said, let's add 10 more people to the schmaz of cluster that this thing can be. I get what you guys are saying. I'd rather see more women participate in the Royal Rumble match than have to be kind of segregated into their own pay-per-view match. Because let's be honest. You got so many jobbers in terms of the men on the main roster now. What the hell does it matter? You could have somebody like Nia Jax eliminate a Kurt Hawkins, and people would actually believe it. Mind you, if Sasha Banks' bald-headed ass wasn't tapping Nia Jax out every week.
Hey,
I knew somebody was
Banks
going to bring that up.
won.
Get him up.
Hey,
I like Sasha, but the fact is I got more rhythm than she does, and she's related to Snoop. There's something wrong here, but she's gonna keep. She keeps coloring her hair. In another 5-7 years, she's gonna be bald. But would it be that unbelievable if a Nia Jax came out and eliminated a Kurt Hawkins?
No, I would.
No, for sure not.
I wouldn't believe she eliminates Finn, but because he's not a jobber. But I could definitely believe her throwing Kurt Hawkins over the top rope because he ain't doing nothing.
Smaller than me.
I don't know where Sami Zayn's been booked. You just had one of the women eliminate Sami Zayn from the Rumble.
Oh God, that would be glorious. No matter how hard I try to pray the Zayn away, it just doesn't work. Pray for him to go away.
Well, hopefully he never goes away.
Huh?
Why?
Hopefully he never goes away. Well, at least you get your wish. He won't be. As far as we know, he isn't on the SummerSlam card.
Enjoy the push that Sami Zayn's about to get post SummerSlam. I'm telling you. You watch. Calling it now. That's for you, Jeffy boy.
He's going for the U.S. title.
Yep. 100%.
I mean, no, come on. Him and AJ would create magic together.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
He actually wrestled not too far away from here, where I live.
Number one, just because guys do spots, that doesn't automatically mean they're good matches. It's kind of like when people say Cena has improved in the ring over the years. Bullshit. He still can tell a story to save his freaking life, and every move he does is botchy as hell. It doesn't matter if you try to do a Canadian Destroyer or some other crap. If everything you do really looks like shit, like he still does the worst SDFU I've ever seen, and that's supposed to be your primary submission finisher, and you still can't apply it right after all these years.
Well, The Rock sharpshooter was pretty bad too, so.
I completely agree, but The Rock did it with far more entertainment value, personality, and charisma than Cena could ever pretend himself to be. The point I'm getting at is wrestling's not just about in-ring action. Guys like Sami Zayn, and I'm not just picking on him, because frankly, Finn Balor, once you get past the entrance and the face paint, there's nothing there. I'm sorry, there's nothing there.
I want to cut you off when you come to Sami. I think Sami can tell a story and to prove it. For example, his match against Owens at Battleground. If I had to sum up like Wildlight Wrestling, for example, the ending of that match, he goes, hits Owens with the haluva kick, catches him, looks at him, thinks of everything Owens did to him since they were NXT, then kicks him again. You want to tell me that wasn't good storytelling?
Yeah, I agree with you, Karen.
How many times have you wrestled over the years? What does that matter? They literally had that same match for years. I'm just saying. I mean, I saw that at Final Battle 2010. I saw that at NXT, and then I see it again in WWE. That's not necessarily a measurement. That's more of a measurement of trial and error and practice and perfection of their pieced together match. I'm just saying, when you look at guys like Sami Zayn, and if you really think about it with Finn Balor, what is so special about him? It's like when Daniel Bryan came to the WWE in 2010. Standpoint, and you have to keep that perspective here. It can't just be about the in-ring action, because those guys fall flat on their face. Daniel Bryan came in and initially The Miz and the heat The Miz had, but in general, it wasn't that good and hadn't really developed a WWE type of personality, a persona, a character. You back off of him a little bit after that stupid crap of him cashing in, and then he gets freaking bro kicked by Sheamus at 28. Then he becomes this Owen Hart type of heel character with Kane, and now you start to rebuild the Daniel Bryan. He became a character. He became a personality. You got to see more out of him, and by the time he got to 30, he was ready for that spot. What I'm saying is in-ring action is so incredibly massively overrated, and how do we define what is good in-ring action? It's like saying the Young Bucks are any good. Do 300 super kicks, no selling. You don't even know who's legal in the match. Hell, they don't even care. They don't sell shit.
I don't watch the Young Bucks.
Still great.
Well, Mark, you take this over, because I don't watch a lot of the Young Bucks at all. So, Mark, you're going to have to take over them.
They're still great.
But it's the greater concept of these guys do so many things, and they can do spectacular things, like a Sami Zayn, like Finn Balor. They can do some incredible athletic things, but so often They go from spot to spot to spot to spot instead of let me do something a little bit and sell it and make it work and let's make it matter and have consequence and let me like I hate when somebody like a Meltzer sits there and says, well, Omega and Okada work the crowd.
I didn't watch it.
They didn't really work the crowd. They did a whole bunch of, let's just say, let's just bring it back to the Young Bucks for an example.
They just do a whole bunch of shit.
They oversell the super kick because everybody knows the super kick is what made the Young Bucks. The super kicks, the high flying tag team moves that they had in PWG, that's what put them on the map. And then they joined the Bullet Club and just take off even farther from there. You go to Okada, Omega, they didn't really work the crowd. It's just all those high flying moves. Like every move, every spot that they had, they were jumping off turnbuckles. They were, they were really technical. Let's say that.
But that's the whole point.
I wouldn't say they were really working the crowd though.
Well, but I hear what Jeff is saying.
What is working?
I hear what you're saying, Jeff. Like Randy Orton kind of hit it on the head with that big tweet about the Indies there. But essentially what he was trying to get at is, ring psychology needs to be enforced, especially when it comes to WWE, especially, right? But I think that a lot of that comes with the experience, being in the ring with the right person sometimes, having them show you, if you will, and whatever. But it also depends on the promotion. Different promotions work different ways, things of that nature. But I think you're going to see that with time, guys like Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, they're going to develop that a little bit more as they go because they're going to have to adapt to the style of WWE.
Nowadays, it's just like it all comes to the fact that the classic debate when it comes to wrestling fans, casual fans versus hardcore fans. You got certain hardcore fans who just care for in-ring work, while the casuals care for larger-than-life characters, and you can't really have it in between. And, you got some people like, I wasn't happy with the fact that, they put the title on Goldberg and had Goldberg versus Lesnar at WrestleMania, but at the same time, I understood why they did it. I prefer wrestlers who are good in-ring. Now, once again, like Jeff said, what defines good in-ring? That's tough because, I'm not a wrestler. I've never stepped in between the ropes. So I'm not going to say, oh, this guy can wrestle and this guy can't. I will never say, oh, someone can't. Like, unless you're so obvious that you can't wrestle, then that's when I'm going to say it. But I try hard to say, oh, he can't wrestle or she can't wrestle because who am I to say you can't wrestle if I've never stepped in the ring myself? Now, there are some exceptions. For example, the great Khali, I'll gladly say I don't think he can wrestle because he could barely in a rope.
Don't ever let anybody in wrestling give you that lame line that makes you feel like that. If you ever go to a restaurant, here's what I mean. If you ever go to a restaurant and you think the meal sucks, do you have to be the chef? Do you have to actually be able to cook whether or not to know whether or not the meal sucks? No, you fucking don't. If the steak is terrible, the steak is terrible, and the chef deserves to have a swift kick in the nuts.
Yeah, and it goes to other things. It goes to fucking other sports. One guy is a terrible quarterback. This guy is a shitty quarterback. Or you're watching a movie. This guy, I don't like this actor. He's not a very good actor, and everybody shares the same opinion. Well, because you weren't an actor doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion on it. I mean, I'm not saying you don't understand, opinion,
but I'm not gonna say, oh, this guy can't do it if I can't. I mean, I understand. Don't let someone in the industry give you that feedback. Watch out. I'm like Calvin Chase is Calvin Chase. I'm my own person. I don't let someone else influence however I feel about anybody. But I also try to stay, as respectful and positive as possible. So I try not to say, oh, you can't wrestle because one, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and allow you to improve. I don't think you're that good in between the ropes right now. I don't want to see anyone fail. I want to see everyone succeed in wrestling. But the sad thing about it is that not everyone does.
Well, here's like the Young Bucks situation it comes into. They can do a lot of incredible athletic stuff, but there's absolutely no ring psychology. There's no purpose to anything they do. It's literally spot to spot to spot to spot. Any jackass in a backyard can do that, and that's the truth. Like even Okada and Omega, you got the Omega cuck Meltzer sitting there talking about the first match with 6 stars, second match with 6 1/4 stars, and you're working a knee for several minutes, and then all of a sudden Okada forgets that we were working the knee for 15 minutes, and we're just back to doing random shit again. Tombstones onto the freaking off of the apron into the damn floor and everything else, but then a clothesline's going to finish you off. I mean, how ridiculous is that? That would be like sitting there saying, having somebody kick you in the nuts and you no-sold it, but somebody flicked your nose and it knocked you out for a 10 count. To me, is professional wrestling today. The shit doesn't make sense. They do a bunch of crap that they don't have to, good enough to get over doing it a certain way. I understand stuff evolves and changes, and that's fine. Spectacular stuff, but these guys fall so much into the trick of I got to get my shit in, I've got to get my shit in, and it's just crazy. But I will tell you this much too, Karen, is don't be too respectful of the wrestlers, because I promise you they do not respect you. The first chance you have, they get so butthurt and offended when anybody criticizes. Like, I've been doing this stuff for years in terms of online, and I get criticized all the time. It is what it is. If I couldn't handle it, I shouldn't do it. Yeah. And that's it. And some of these wrestlers, like, whoever it is, like for me recently, like Hurricane Helms and Conan, people I don't have a problem with, but say anything, they get so incredibly butthurt, it's crazy. WWE people, mind you, will just block you. But I feel like you have to kiss up to them wrestlers too much, because I promise you they do not respect you. I promise you they will just lump you in like a mark like everybody else, even though they're the biggest fucking marks of all. Check, I at least work the job that gives me health insurance and 401k and other benefits. And the contracts as independent contractors where they have to pay for all that shit out of their own pocket.
I know we're kind of, obviously we're rambling here, but I wanted to ask each of you, since I do host an NFL podcast that is returning August 31st, each one of your NFL team that you cheer for. So I know we obviously know some of them, but we'll just go through it first. Kyron Chase, you got your Ravens.
Raven Nation, baby.
Yes, Baltimore, a team that might finish last. Mark Rambo.
Browns.
LA Rams. Mountie.
I'm not a massive NFL fan, believe it or not. I'm more of a baseball guy myself. So
Blue Jays.
No, well, Expos fan at heart. I'm from Montreal.
That 94 team got screwed.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's true, and it's good. It's good to hear other people say it too, because it was 100% true, right? And but now I'm a Seattle Mariners fan. That's been my team for a long time now, ever since we lost ours. And so NFL. My brother is a huge Carolina Panther fan, but before they made the Super Bowl, like since 2005, he's a massive fan. I always kind of liked the Cowboys, kind of growing up, but that kind of fizzled away a little bit. We even have our own league, CFL. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
I have.
I watched the Rough Riders and some of those other games sometimes.
Yeah, I see that on ESPN or ESPN too.
That's it, and we have our own team here, the Alouettes, and they're pretty solid. They've won 5 Grey Cups, they call it. We got about 9 teams, so it's not obviously on the same level. It's a different game. There's 3 downs. Calvillo is working with Montreal, but that's it. He's not.
Is
obviously
Trestman
retired.
back as their head coach?
Trestman actually is the Argonauts, Toronto's team head coach.
I don't know now. Okay, good.
Yeah,
keep him up there in Canada.
Yeah, he didn't do too well in for the Bears. That's too bad. But he did some good stuff for us, I gotta say, for 2 years. And I think that's really what it comes down to, Jeff. It's just it's a different game, different downs, and some CFL players go to the NFL. Very few. They do really well, and vice versa. NFL comes to the CFL, they don't do as well, and some flourish. So it really comes down to skill level and conditioning and everything, and it's way different. But I do love football. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just not. I don't really have one team that I go for. I enjoy watching it, especially the playoffs. Very exciting stuff. My fiance is a massive Patriots fan, so I try to back her there. It's you got to do what you got to do, though.
Right.
Don't.
You know what I mean? So that Super Bowl was pretty crazy. Watching that, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, it was a little nuts.
And Blue, who's your NFL team?
The Giants, baby.
We're on a boat. On a boat. Going down on Amber Rose on a boat.
Oh no. Oh no.
The third. And Eli Manning with his dopey face. Oh, what happened? Here's Eli Manning after an incompletion. Here's Eli Manning after he overthrows the guy on a 3-yard screen pass by 10 yards. Here's Eli Manning after he throws yet another what's it.
Oh no.
Here's Eli Manning after he wins the game. After the Tyree catch. Here's Eli Manning once his brother Peyton choked yet again. Gotta give him the Heimlich.
And Jeff, your NFL team. Jeff?
Jeff.
He might have froze.
Looks
Lost
like
him. See, that's what happens when you talk about Eli. See that? You see what happens?
everyone talks about Eli. Come on, man.
He's doing his Eli impression again. You can just frozen. Yeah, lost.
The answer to the eternal question: What if Rex Grossman was 6'7" and had a giraffe neck? What would he look like? The answer would be Mike Glennon. I hate Rex Grossman.
No one likes Rex Grossman.
You didn't watch him lose a Super Bowl for your team, though.
Who's your team?
You talk about the team that's going to be in last place.
Probably. Speaking of how everybody, was crowning Trubisky after the first preseason game against Denver, I don't know. Maybe Chicago might steal the North.
He did it against third and fourth stringers, so
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm not too excited yet. He did not look overwhelmed. I will say that he did not look overwhelmed. He looked like he was comfortable. Have to reach a common sense decision. I don't give a shit what your plan is about you wanted to start the season with Glennon. If you feel like Trubisky is equal, then you're an idiot for not starting him week one. I know their beginning schedule is brutal, but the whole assertion that a guy learns better sitting on the bench is just dumb. Now, granted, it happened in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, but he was also playing behind a Hall of Famer in Brett Favre.
Yep.
Different situation. Like Rodgers had 3 years to learn from a great system and a great quarterback in front of him. Trubisky learning from freaking Mike Glennon. What the hell would Mike Glennon know? If Trubisky shows he's anywhere close, he better be the guy week one. Because otherwise, why did you draft him?
Packer fans here in nationwide, my age, 32 and under, I've been very blessed and lucky to have two Hall of Fame quarterbacks and have teams in the running for the playoffs and the running for division titles since I was born, since 88, so.
I didn't experience the crappy days of the Packers in the 70s and the 80s. I come out of the womb and there's fucking Brett Favre. And then after all of these years, you got a Lombardi trophy. Then we got Aaron fucking Rodgers and we get another Lombardi trophy. I get to watch a real franchise quarterback play for the past 25 years for my goddamn team. It must be nice. Whereas my team was to pay Jay Cutler Aaron Rodgers money to not beat Aaron Rodgers consistently.
It is very nice.
Smoking Jay Cutler memes. I will miss them.
When he's about to do to the Dolphins, those Jay Cutler memes aren't going anywhere.
I don't know. We'll see what he can do.
I remember that, though. Do the Dolphins and Ravens play this year?
Oh, we're going to destroy them that Thursday night. That's not even a question.
Is it?
It's a Thursday night here in Baltimore, I believe. We're going to win. Joe Flacco destroys the Dolphins every time he plays them.
Well, yeah, and if it's Thursday night, Cutler's not going to give a shit. So if he throws an early pick, he's going to throw like 5 others, and he's going to pout, and he's going to complain and claim that his blood sugar is spiking and dipping and all this other hot garbage. So
It's kind of sad as a Bears fan. The closest you've come to winning a Super Bowl since '85, you lost to the Packers in the NFC title game.
Go Pack, go!
Are you forgetting about when they actually lost to the Colts in the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. That's one of the most. Besides the opening kickoff, that's one of the least memorable Super Bowls of the last few years.
Yes, it is. But yes, Jay Cutler. Oh my God, my knee is hurt so bad I cannot play. So that way I can stand on it the entire second half on the sidelines and walk around with no limp whatsoever. Go to a restaurant later on that night. The moment was too big, and you twisted your fallopian tubes and strained your vas deferens. Then I understand that maybe the spotlight was too big for you, but don't sit there and claim it's an injury when it clearly wasn't. Just saying. Fuck Jay Cutler.
I don't know if Trubisky does as well as you think. We could have Bears-Packers rivalry, Rodgers versus Trubisky. That could certainly be a gunslinging show if Trubisky is as good as he looked in Week 1 preseason against third stringers.
Steve, you are being very generous right now. You were expecting me to buy into the hype of Trubisky being able to man up against the best quarterback I have ever seen. Tom Brady is the GOAT.
Brady's the GOAT.
Quarterback talents, Rodgers is the best I've ever seen.
Me too.
Rodgers is the best.
I was trying to help you out, bro. Trying to have your fans there in Chicago be like us Packer fans that we had for 30 years.
Well, Steve, you guys always have a playoff berth to look forward to every year. Well, besides a defense that needs improving, you have nothing. The Lions aren't going to challenge you. The Vikings aren't going to challenge you. You're going to win the division every year. Meanwhile, we got to battle through the hard AFC North every year.
You get 2 games against the Browns. Zip it.
Fair enough.
You get to play Dalton twice a year.
Yeah, but we also got to deal with AJ Green on that team.
You get to play Dalton twice a year, not to mention you get to play Pittsburgh where either Big Ben's raping a girl, so he's out, or Le'Veon Bell's hurt and he'll be out for a game, or Antonio Brown's out and or humping a goalpost or post-game locker room speeches and he'll be out a game. So it's not that brutal.
Brutal. We don't really have that hard of a schedule this year, but we did not make it easy on us.
Got to find a running game.
Hey, Steve, I'm gonna take off. All right, brother. But I wanted to.
Guys, this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, honestly, guys, we got to do this again.
So, Mountie, I'll let you go first. You can promote your stuff and go.
All right. So, obviously, come check out my channel, guys. Anybody who's watching, or obviously, you guys, I'm gonna sub to all of you. You guys are cool as shit. I had a blast tonight. Mounties Corner is the name. Mounties Corner on Twitter. I got an Instagram as well. Same thing. Got a Facebook page. You can always email me, mountiescorner@gmail.com. Pretty much, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can't really miss it. And you know what? I had a blast, man. And going forward, I'd love to do this kind of collab again. And you guys rock, man. You got some good opinions on wrestling. Very knowledgeable. It was. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, Steve. You're a fucking amazing host. You got a knack for this, man. You're very, very good rhythm. It's in your nature, man. So keep grinding, man. I hope something comes along for you.
Me too. And thanks for the kind words. And also, hopefully, I didn't have you for too long because I know it's now 11:35 Central and 12:35 there in Canada. But thanks for staying for the full time.
Yeah.
My pleasure, boys. So it was awesome meeting you guys, Kyring. And I was gonna call you Blue Meanie, Blue Demon.
Really?
Dude, like Steve said, it's like almost 1 o'clock here. I'm done. All right. You guys take it easy, huh?
All right, bro.
And Blue Meanie, Blue Demon over there. Promote yourself. Put yourself over.
Now, first, I just want to say thank you, man, Steve, for asking me to do this, man. I've definitely had a blast listening to you guys, man. You guys are very, very knowledgeable in the wrestling game. Definitely taught me some stuff tonight. Jeff, my God, my friend, you are a character, man. You are awesome, my friend. I'm glad I got to meet you tonight, man, and everybody else. And BLUExDEMOnx, you know what I'm saying? I do live streams Monday and Tuesday for Raw and SmackDown. Also do reaction videos for the pay-per-view. So check those out, man. You guys have a great night, man. Thank you so much for having me on here once again, Steve. I'm out.
All right, take care. Kyron, let you put yourself over.
Follow me on Twitter, Splash Bro Kyron, Instagram Splash_Kyron, Tumblr and DeviantArt Kyron Chase, all lowercase. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Kyron Chase. I talk about wrestling, obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog, and My Little Pony Friendly Magic, and I will always love being here.
And last but not least, Jeff of OTRSCentral, put yourself over.
Had a fantastic time tonight. We will do this again. Next time, I will give Kyron some life lessons about what a beautiful woman actually looks like. And Steve, you will be welcome to those sessions as well. We'll figure out something for you to do, Blue Meanie. Maybe you and I could make some homage to Ray Lewis and his murder trial and send it to Kyron. But in all seriousness, I had a blast. And remember, OTRSCentral, that's the handle on Twitter. Like the Facebook page. Buy a shirt from Pro Wrestling Tees. It's there. My mug all over the place. And OTRSCentral, not the wrestling show you want, just the wrestling show you need. And most importantly of all, for those of you that are still watching, I watch WWE and Global Force Wrestling in large part so you don't have to. Thank you, gentlemen. And peace. The Schleg Daddy is out.
All right, also, BLUExDEMOn, since you're still here for a couple more seconds, we will make sure and have it official as of right now for those still watching live or archived or however, later on, you and me on that bet with the WWE Universal title match. If Roman Reigns pins Brock Lesnar and wins the WWE Universal Championship, you will have a video to do with those three things that we discussed, with the apology, the music in the background, the other thing as well, the Roman Reigns gear, and stuff there. And if Roman Reigns loses, if anybody else wins, put it that way, if the field wins, I have to do, I think, like Daddy said, top 10 reasons why Roman sucks or something like that, in my video, in a video here on my channel. So I definitely will be doing that. And obviously, I already subbed to you and ring your bell, so I'm ready. I'm ready to get that notification email when you have that video. And I'm sure with you subbing over here and ringing my bell, you'll get that email quick, fast, and hurry of mine. If the latter happened, which it seems by that smug look in your face, it looks like the latter is going to happen.
Oh, and,
the field is going to take it there in the Universal title match. But thanks for stopping by. Hopefully it was all right to take your time for this many long hours. And Kyron, thanks as always for being here weekly. To everybody watching live, welcome to follow me on the Twitter at WB_podcast or my personal Twitter handle at Army_strong_06. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Share it to whoever you want. Share it to a WWE superstar. Share it to Summer Rae herself. Whoever you want to share it to, most gratitude and grace. I do appreciate that for that. And those all that were chatting in the live chat, I appreciate that. I do apologize. I was unable to read most of those or answer any of the questions from there. I'm sure Kyron and Mark did that for me. And also the other situation we had earlier in the show was eradicated by me, the host. And I'll make sure to be on top of that more often when we have big shows like this and have big guests like Blue and OTRSCentral, when I know, things like that could happen. But anyways, thanks to those, everybody. And above that and above all else, as always, take care.
Peace out.